Hello, it's James, and we're back for our round three tips. Just one thing before you skip ahead to the betting thing, just two housekeeping things. One, don't forget when this video comes out, either a Friday or a Saturday, I will always have Thursday bets posted here on my YouTube channel. So you can see this on your phone, you can see it on a web browser. You go to the post section, you scroll down, and I will have the form guide. I will also have who I'm betting on. I will also have notes, who I like, just a quick little thing, people who missed. And like, I'm recording this right after the Doggies game. And so I had Lockie Bramble, Matt Kennedy, Riley Sanders, bang, all hit. And then on Thursday, I also talk about who I liked from the Essendon Port game. I also have the form guide. I include who I bet on. That one got up. So just a quick friendly reminder that I've had the Thursday and the Friday, I don't cover in the video, but I will also always have a post. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that, hear about that, see that, because I know the videos get, a decent amount of likes, and thank you so much for that. I just want to make sure the posts are still getting enough traction. Maybe if it's something I need to start posting on Instagram or something. But yeah, no, and thank you so much for liking it. It makes me know that you've seen it. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you so freaking much. That is the first thing. Or second thing, we're back in Brisbane. We're back in the normal setup. It's all good. I should have more time. And speaking of having more time, I've actually recorded the review with my friend Jono, and that chat went for like 2.5 hours. So I've tried to condense that for like an hour and a half. I've chopped an hour out of it. And I think I might be doing that forward. He's going away for like a month, but I reckon that'll be something really cool to do. It's just nice to have another set of eyes go over my bet. He might see things that I don't. So I think that's really good. And actually, the two bets that I spoke about, Thursday night, Essendon Port, Friday night, Doggies and Carlton, both of those bets we talked about together, tick for both. So it's been a great thing so far. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, without any more dawdling, we'll get on to Jono and I's recap, and then I'll go into the bets for round three. So thank you all again so freaking much. All right, peace. Hello guys, it's James, and welcome back to Footy Flutters for round three footy tips. So this has been a freaking rough week. I think we only got one win up, so been struggling a bit. So I've called in my mate Jono, who's sitting there next to me. Jono, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be here. Happy to be on the show.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
nice, good to hear it. So yeah, Jono, very much like me, lives, breathes, eats, pisses, shits footy. So he knows all of his
In
stuff.
that order.
Yeah, he knows all his stuff. Pretty into Supercoach. Watches most of the games every week, but this was actually his first week where he didn't get to watch too much because he was away with work. But still knows all his stuff, what's going on. So I thought he'd help me with the little recap. So we'll go through most of the games that I did bets on, see what we can prove. And I'll probably get to it when we go through the bets, but I feel like this week we might narrow the goalpost a little bit. So what's been happening is we're falling sort of like one leg short, so we might have to just readjust for the year. I'm not too worried because March has notoriously been just the shittest year of betting. Like every year, every time I do it, it's always the roughest round to start. So yeah, with that in mind, I feel like we'll go through the games. So I've got my bet on screen for Jono. We might just skip the Carlton Hawthorn game for now and go straight to my first bet, which was Jono's team, who goes for Collingwood, the Mighty Magpies, against Bulldogs. So I'll just quickly...
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to take this over, you watched this pretty intensely.
Yeah, I watched every minute of this one. Going into that game, yeah, I think I messaged you on Friday night. Like, it was staring Collingwood in the face. They don't have anyone. Maybe no one in the league does, but Collingwood hadn't... Going into the game, there was no way they were going to be able to stop Sam Darcy, and it straight away happened in the first quarter.
His marks, like, he was making Darcy Moore look short. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and like, I he's a dog. Like, yeah, he was just insane. I don't know if this is like more things to come, or is it a bit of a flash in the pan for like maybe it's a 1 in 4 week kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't know many. Maybe Harris Andrews would probably be the only defender in the league that probably can match it with him, I think, right now. So
maybe future, multi-leg goal scorer. But yeah, he looked amazing. Like, for stats wise, I'll quickly just recap my bets. So I was happy with Darcy Cameron, the ruckman, to bounce back after missing by one posie. And Jono and I were at the Collingwood Port game the week before, and I was tapping him on the shoulder. I was like, fuck, Darcy Cameron is just sitting on the bench. So I knew he was going to be good for 15 the week before, the week after, because he only played like 70%. So good to see him bounce back. Bailey Dale, beast off the half back line. Jamie Elliott for a goal. I kind of like rotating between Elliott, McStay, Tim Membry to an extent. Anyone who's sort of paying over $1.20. Now, Quaynor, Jono maybe sort of his eyebrows raised for this one, but my note on Quaynor was he averaged over 16 posies in 2023, had a down year 2024, and I thought he was going to return to his 2023 form where he hit 16, but then had a bit of a lapse. So
I think it's like, I don't think it was a bad going in. I think you kind of got, I don't know, am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, oh, fuck. No, I think you got fucked over though by the Reece McInnes injury 5 minutes in, and that just fucked. Even look at Houston, Perryman and Quaynor, all their games were down, even Supercoach wise, touch wise, that all of them had to go play shutdown roles and said it, they couldn't run off. Honestly, it's probably a state. Unfortunately, because of the Reece McInnes injury, Quaynor now is going to have to defend more.
I think that is a really good call, because before that, I was bullish on him because I feel like not obviously the half-back distributor role. I know like that's Houston's spot, but I just feel like Quaynor had a bit more breathing room. But with that injury, yeah, I noticed Perryman had a shitter on Supercoach. Dan Houston, I think he got, was it less than 15 posies? I'm quickly just looking up now.
He was, literally, I don't know what he was on touch-wise at half-time, but I think, I'm just going by Supercoach as well here, but he was on two Supercoach points almost, I think, at halfway through the second quarter.
Oh, so he had 2 posies in the first, 6 in the second, so he was on 8 at halftime, which is not awful, but he finished the game on 15 posies total. So yeah, that's a very good pickup. Houston, Perryman, all down, and I have Perryman and Supercoach, and you have Houston. So yeah, we've obviously got eyes on them.
I think he'll be okay. Honestly, speaking of, if you're just looking at this as a purely as are they going to get touches in weeks to come, the big one will be this weekend if Billy Frampton gets a game. Oh, sorry, not this weekend. They don't play for 2 weeks now, but when they play Carlton in 2 weeks, they're going to play Kerno, they're going to play Mackay. I think Billy Frampton's going to have to get picked. So Cow will get freed up. Howe will take the third tall. Then all of a sudden, Houston's not defending anyone. It's all going to ricochet down a bit. Quaynor, though, to me, he's a guy like his best asset. He's pretty good ball user. His best asset by far is how well he defends. So at the end of the day, if it comes to it and there's a small goal kicker, they're going to go with Quaynor over anyone. Like they're going to say, we don't care if you don't touch the ball, defend first.
Yeah, so I feel like Quaynor, not necessarily for reliability, but for value. I think I added him in. I think he was $1.90 at the time, which is pretty insane for someone who I thought was a decent chance. But yeah, you're right. If Billy Frampton comes in, I think that is just will help free him up. But you know, Connor Iden from GWS, I'm very bullish on him. But unfortunately,
very similar player too.
Exactly. Yeah. When there is a small forward, his posies decrease quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think like the Dogs, like they had the 2 big fishes and stuff, but like once, honestly, it was just the injury. Once that happened, that threw that out of proportion. Jamie Elliott, that was probably the best game Jamie Elliott's played in a long time.
Yeah, no, he looked good even the week before. Like I know they smashed Port, but like he looks good and can take I love a small forward who can take a mark pack mark. So the only thing was I think Collingwood, I think you said it before, like it's they've got there's no star down there, so but there's about 6 of them that could kick that 3 to 4 every week. You've got Schultz, you've got Bobby Hill, you've got your Membry, you've got Mychek, you've got Dan McStay. Not all of them are going to kick 3 to 4. That's the only thing you'd say. So yeah, and that's why like if I'm doing a 3 to 4 leg, I will definitely just try and pick one of them. Like not all, but you kind of. My thing is I like Jamie Elliott because he's very reliable, or I would like someone who missed maybe the week before. Like, did Dan McStay kick one? Oh, no, it was Tim Membry who missed against the Doggies. So I'd be kind of bullish on him for, maybe the following week. Dan
McStay had a lot of it, just had I think
he was the one who did the kick in the centre.
And he also, like you're saying, Tim Membry had a guaranteed goal. Dan McStay just had to pass at 30 metres to an uncontested mark in the goal square, and he couldn't do it. So, and don't worry, I'm a big Dan McStay fan. He just had a bad night using the ball.
Yeah.
So,
any other notes for that game, whatever?
For that game, I think I don't know if you want me to look ahead or not, but just like looking at the Dogs, like Carlton on Friday night, So it's Thursday night, is it, or Friday night? Anyway, Sam Darcy and Wiedering. Wiedering's the best one-on-one defender in the league. I still don't think he's tall enough for Sam Darcy. So does that mean that but then that's why I think Lewis Young, he's a bit of a pleb, but he's 2 meters tall. He's a lot taller than Wiedering. Does he get Sam Darcy and Sam Darcy just has a feast?
Yeah. Well, I'm usually not a huge fan of like multiple.
But I think, I definitely get, I know what you mean there. So,
but
like,
if it's like $1.40 or something, like I will definitely consider. But yeah, just especially after last game, he might be a little too short after that absolute beast. So we'll have to reassess.
I think Collingwood though, well, the 2 weeks off, De Goey's back now, so that midfield mix is going to be like Ned Long's been racking it up in there, right? That's going to have to change. Perryman, I don't know. Maybe we're not going to see Perryman, the midfielder that we thought.
Maybe Ned Long could be then the option, because I think I bet on Perryman.
Ned Long, he was started as a sub on Friday night.
He did, but he came on early, but yeah, because of that injury. But
yeah, it's always a risky one with Ned. But I think De Goey had 20% CBAs on the weekend, and last year he was at 80% CBA worker.
Yeah.
So it's going to go up. It's only going to go increase from here, and someone has to be.
Yeah.
Well, Perryman, I don't think. I don't think he actually had a CBA the other night, which is crazy.
That's wild after round zero.
Round zero, he looked like, I'm like, oh great, we've brought in a guy to play 80% midfield. What did he get? Zero CBAs.
That's wild.
So he went from 50% to 40% to zero, and within 3 weeks.
Like off the top of your head, do you know what he got in that round zero? He probably got it was like 25 plus posies. I think it was like 27.
Yeah, 28 shot on goal as well. Now he didn't. I think it was. I don't want to quote other David King, but I love David King anyway. But like they're saying that the best midfields now are the ones that can hurt you by foot, not necessarily the bash and crash midfielder, which Perryman is. He's not the best ball user, and one thing I would say watching him in round zero was he just got it and was just like, get it forward, don't care, hack it forward. And it kind of fed into Sam Taylor's hands in defence. He just gobbled that up all day.
So instead, just rely on Pendles and side bottom for like another year or so. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think maybe, and that's interesting one is that Ed Allen, who looked like, I thought he was going to be finally get his crack at this. His kicking wasn't up to it. So maybe Collingwood's like, if you can't kick, you're not getting in that midfield. So...
Yeah, no, well, something we'll reassess for the Pies, but it's handy that, you watch them so closely and barrack for them, so it's nice to have that insight. We'll move over to the next game. So we are going to go through my second bet, but third game of the round, which was Essendon Adelaide. Now, this was the first game that I fully got to watch because I landed in Brisbane 15 minutes before the bounce. By the time I got home, I got to sit back, relax, and watch James Peatling get fucking no touches.
You got to sit back and watch the game of the round.
Yeah, this was actually not too bad because like Adelaide are turning it on this year, and watching like the Thrill Seeker, Rankin, both players I have in my draft. But Peatling and Dersma, we'll get to them in a sec. We'll talk about the good things. Ben Keys had a fucking huge game.
Do you want to switch your bet?
Oh yeah, sorry, you can't see I've got it on here, but you can't see it. There we go. Switched over for you. Actually, before I get into it, did you watch this game or you were out working?
No, I listened to. I was working, unfortunately, and I was seeing the score tick over. I've listened to a couple of recaps and heard a lot about the Essendon defense. Is probably the big thing that's going.
Oh yeah, so that's probably why. So we got Ben Keys for a goal, and they just run and just transition it so quick. And Ben Keys was fantastic. We had him for an anytime goal scorer. I think he got one in the first quarter and then second, so like he was fine. Caldwell is popping the fuck off this year, so he is going to be too short for 20 posies now. Matt Crouch, Jono and I were just having a conversation before recording that we thought Matt Crouch was kind of going to get phased out and pushed out of the Adelaide midfield. For now, he's still popping off, getting 25.
I think he's a ride until he dies almost kind of guy. Like, I think eventually, it's kind of weird. I feel like he's almost a one bad game kind of guy, getting away from getting a sub vest, but you ride him until he dies, I think.
Yeah, so keep riding him. Last year he got a sub game. I can't remember who it was against, maybe Hawthorn at the G, but he still got 26 posies and he got subbed. So I think Matt Crouch. Oh, and he started the game on the bench, so he didn't play for the first like 6 minutes of the game. I was like, oh fuck, he hasn't got a posse in 6 minutes. Came on, absolutely smashed it. I can't remember what he had at quarter time. It might have been like 7 or 8 posies. So God, he's good. He just finds the footy. Into the negatives real quick. Peatling, absolute worry signs. So I was bullish on him for 20 the week before, finished with 19. I was like, okay, let's dull my expectations back. 15 sounds reasonable. He was struggling. 13 is generous. I think he got like 4 of those late in like junk time sort of shit.
Where were they? They were playing forward and rotating through the mids.
Yeah, so like
it's a position that he should be getting those touches though.
That's exactly the thing. So he is exactly where I want him to be on the ground. So I'm watching him near the stoppages. There was a couple of times where he could have been used as like the release hand pass, but like he just wasn't. So the problem is he's playing in a great spot, not getting the footy. So watch out for Peatling. Someone I want to monitor and give him still a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, it's going to turn eventually. Like you showed at GWS last year that he is a midfielder. That is role. I think honestly, unfortunately at Adelaide, it's a blessing and a curse that they've got too many fucking mids to pick from. They've got Dawson that can go you look at their CBA counts.
It was a Crouch, Dawson, Saligo, all just getting heaps of the footy. It's leaving poor old Peatling with nothing.
Well, even that. Look at, but there's that many. Matt Crouch, Jordan Dawson, Saligo, Peatling, all racked up. So even Peatling had as many CBAs as Saligo on the weekend.
And that's like he's there. So it's like. And he's versing like, Essendon, and they were just pumping him like just a couple of cheapies, but he just wasn't getting any ball around like the stoppages. It was when Adelaide had the momentum. So I
think a big worrying thing would be like Rankin, they're going to increase those midfield minutes, and also maybe not. It's probably too early to tell, but Sid Draper, he's a midfielder. That's his job. So I don't know. Peatling, the acquisition of Peatling right now, it seems weird.
Yeah.
Why did they do it?
Yeah, and 2 things. So yeah, you pointed out how good he was at GWS in the back half. He also had a cracker practice match. Like I know you got to take practice match with a grain of salt, but he looked fantastic. It's why I was bullish on him to start the year. And yeah, like when Sid Draper gets more minutes, and Rankin played like just over 3/4 of footy. So like, what happens when they're all?
I think Rankin will be. He's going to be he's going to be a 50% midfielder eventually. Maybe like once they get, that's what I think they're getting. That's their goal for him. The big I get Crouch is going to get phased out either at some point this year or next year. Sometime it's going to happen. But is Peatling the Crouch replacement? Maybe. He's pretty tough, but Matt Crouch is a bit of a ball in there.
Yeah, well, I think Peatling definitely has the tank for it. Like I don't want to shit on him too much. I think he's just been a little unlucky while Adelaide have been popping off early. So I don't want to write him off just yet. And all honestly, I'll probably see what he's paying this week, and I could go him again. But at all the points you've mentioned, the midfield is stacked, and he's there, but just not getting it. So
Essendon though, you didn't bet it on Essendon players. Oh, you did. Sorry, you did. You got a couple there. Interesting ones for Essendon though. They really interest me. So it's pretty obvious. Caldwell, Merritt, and Durham. They're their 3 go-tos, right? They're their main. That's their main 3 that they like to mix it with. The other 2 though that get a bit of a feed is Sardis and Perkins, who are both ruled out probably for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Wait.
And doesn't announce today. Perkins has done a quad, and one of them's done a quad and one of them's broke a finger.
Oh shit! Oh, I can't remember who, but I know. Sardis had a cracker of a preseason, quiet round 1, but so both of them are not going to get the rotations in the mid there, or if they're not playing. So
what is it? We'll be out. Sardis is broke. Skensko and Sardis has broke his finger, and Perkins sustained a minor quad strain.
Okay, well that's interesting because we'll see who can step up. Do you have the CBAs open at the moment? Who's like following?
Well, there's no one.
Okay, so
literally the next guy to CBA is McGrath. He had 2%.
Oh yeah, McGrath had a couple of CBAs the first quarter against Geelong, but that was the pracky. So I had my eye on him, but then he was straight back to defence.
He had one CBA on the weekend.
Yeah.
This is where it gets I think gets interesting is that AFL. So Parrish is due back, supposedly. if Parrish isn't ready, well, he could be back and he's just going to take those. He's going to gobble up those CBA minutes.
Yeah,
obviously. The big one though for me, if Parrish doesn't get up, I think Ben Hobbs has got to get it. They're not going to play McGrath over there instead of Ben Hobbs.
No, you're right. There's no Ridley. They need McGrath at the back.
Maybe Dersma.
No, Dersma I think is just bona fide winger. So I think Ben Hobbs is the better pick. Or what is that? Not Archie Perkins. The other one is it? Someone Roberts.
Archie Roberts is a back flanker.
Okay, so not much chance.
Yeah, I think it's got to be, well, unless it's finally we're going to see the McGrath that we've always been told, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's a midfielder.
I don't know if that Callum Mills McGrath, I don't think he's going into the mid. I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, well, Callum Mills eventually did it, but
so was McGrath, but I don't know. It's never really happened.
No, so I think honestly, if Parrish plays, it's Parrish's, and Parrish is probably no value there for Parrish. But if Ben Hobbs and McGrath, there's a little bit there, I think.
Well, I like McGrath, so I like McGrath for 20 if Ridley or Redmond are not playing. And obviously, is Ridley still out for more than 1 week? Do you know?
Ridley, I believe it's just a concussion, so it should be back this week.
Okay, well, might monitor, because I'm not super bullish if, Red Dog and Ridley and McGrath are all back there, but Dersma, I'm still bullish on to bounce back. I noted last year he missed 15 posies twice in his 2024 round 1 and his last round of the year. So
yeah,
it's just very unlucky. But Xavier Dersma is someone who's going to hit 90% of the time. We got him on a miss, so I would definitely bounce back.
And that's in a week where their midfield just got trounced. So
absolutely. We're going to talk about it in the Geelong St Kilda game, but when you're the team that you bet on for posies gets just absolutely fucking just pumped or just stunned out the gates, it's rough for posies.
They've got Port. Yeah, I think they'll be competitive against Port. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they win that.
Port got a good confidence boost against Richmond. They looked lost at the MCG against Collingwood, but you put them in front of their home fans against one of the bottom sides. Every player on Port just looked amazing. I'm pretty sure all the play except 4 got over 70 or something in Supercoach. It was disgusting. Yeah, we'll go to the next bet here and we can just keep it rolling. But essentially, the Richmond Port game. So I'll just quickly talk through my bets and then we'll have a discussion. But Thompson Dow, who I loved against Carlton the week before, he was great all year, 10 out of 10 in his last couple of matches. Miles Bergman, this is something I hate, and it happened to Darcy Wilmot. Someone who is great value, $1.50, plays too well, and then they become too short to bet on. I don't know if you guys noticed, just before the game, he went from $1.50 to $1.30, and if he's getting 20 posies, that's going to be really shit. So on the positive, we included him early, but on the negative, Tim Taranto did not rock up until halftime. I'm pretty sure he was on 5 or 6 posies at halftime, I think 2 at quarter time. Had half a game of footy. If Tim Taranto played quarters 3 and 4 in the other half of the game, it would have been fine, but he just did not rock up. Jaden Short's okay for 20, not much more to note from him, but one thing to note about his role, I just want to check if you had anything to say, Jono, but I think it was Ben Miller or someone was taking a lot more.
Ben Miller took all the kick-ins.
Yeah, exactly. And Jaden Short, I rely on his kick-ins for posies. So we were lucky he got 21 there.
That could be that could be a stay away. I think that could have been planned, I think, because Jaden Short had 1 kick-in on the weekend.
I was watching that. I was like, what the fuck is Ben? I was like, all right, he takes 1, he takes 2. I was like, oh, Jaden Short must be out of position. He must be on the 50 or something. But to take was it 6 or something?
Ben Miller took 8. And then the next highest was Loston with 3.
8 kick-ins to Ben Miller. That's wild. That's
someone. And then Tom Brown got 2.
And what? Short got 1 or?
Short got 1.
That is wild. That is insane. So
yeah,
So on that,
it could. That to me, that's a clear directive that we don't want you kicking in.
Yeah, to have. So how many was that in total? 13, 14 kick-ins, and he took 1.
4, 12, 14 kick-ins.
Yeah.
He took 1. So then, okay. In saying that, maybe it's just first in, best rest, because Short took 7 the week before. Ben Miller took 0.
So you're saying like if there's no structure, then that's kind of worrying because if
Well, it's
they're-
just bad fucking coaching. But I don't know. Was it? Did he have a? Let me have a look. Sorry,
But when you
'cause I
compare
didn't
that,
watch-
like, I don't want to throw stats at you on the fly, question without notice, but like when you
No,
compare
go-
it to
go for
like
it.
a North Melbourne, I'm pretty sure like Caleb Daniel took like probably 95% of the kick-ins. So it's just so odd to have a structureless kick-in system. Look, it could be structured, but then you compare it to like a designated team who have their kick-in player.
Every team has their kick-in player.
And
Oh, at least there's 3 kick-in players that, and it's not like with that many, like they were getting pumped, right? I'm actually interested. I'm just gonna. Sorry,
no, that's right. While you're looking for that, I'm just going to say Ben Miller. So maybe we don't bet on next week, but someone to monitor who could, like, what the fuck? I would never bet on Ben Miller for posies, but if he's getting like 7, 8, if he's getting half his posies from kick-ins, like that is something to note. So we'll see what
I
his
just want
value
to
next
look
week.
at. I'm just interested in because I think Jade. I reckon there's a big factor that. Let's have a look, Jaden. I reckon it wouldn't surprise me if they maybe put, because their midfield's going to be pretty piss poor at Richmond, right?
Yeah.
Getting an extra guy behind the ball, just like right up at the contest, and using him as like kind of like a extra wingman, extra sweeper. That wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to like, which is not great if that's like. I'm just trying anyway, but it'd be interesting if they've just pushed him so far away from the goal, which is not what we want. Like you want him to be a backline seagull all year. Like,
Yeah, and for betting wise and Supercoach wise, I know he was kind of picked for like a good value player in Supercoach this year, but yeah, kind of worrying sign. Like, look, he's still got 21. It's not like the end of the world, but like we're relying on like 5 kick-ins like minimum for Jaden Short. So yeah, he got pumped. So the footy was down their back line a lot, but he was the second leading ball getter for Richmond. So behind Jacob Hopper, but obviously.
So, okay. How many touches did Jaden Short get, sorry, on the weekend?
21, yeah.
Yeah, so of that 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them were in the back 50.
Only 5. Okay, I would have. Well, a lot of them he would be kicking out or kick out receives and stuff like that. So,
but the rest, all the rest of his 21 were across the wings, across the midfield. So I think he's been pushed away from goal, up the ground.
The funny thing is, so I watched this game, but I fell asleep from like the second to the third quarter. Like it was pretty boring just watching Port pump Richmond. So I woke up, I think like in the third quarter, and I was like, what? This has got to be a mistake. Tim Taranto's on like 6 posies, and then so I was just all eyes on Tim Taranto, just looking his heart not in it, just for that game. But I want to give Tim Taranto the benefit of the doubt because I'm pretty sure he was 9 of 10 or 10 for 10 for 25. So against the raging Port, you know, with Connor Rosie having the ball on a string, like 39 posies, Ollie Wines. Actually, this is just a random thing. How come no one cries when Ollie Wines gets like 30 posies, plays in the ruck, but when Paddy Cripps does it, it's just get him out of the ruck. Ollie Wines
He's a Brownlow medalist as well.
Yeah, he's a Brownlow medalist, and he's playing in the ruck, and he's 30.
I think it's purely because Ollie Wines is their 4th best mid.
Oh, true. Where Paddy Cripps is
Paddy's still their best.
That's true.
That's the factor. Like they're happy. Like if you're using your 4th mid to be your backup ruckman, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah.
So I know he's a Brownlow, and honestly, I think Ollie Wines has been disrespected enough in his career, even though he's a Brownlow medalist. But like if I would have Ollie Wines, I would have left Port a long time ago.
Yeah, no, I just thought that was odd. I was like, he's in so many ruck contests, and no one bats an eyelid. But
yeah, and he gets hurt in the ruck too.
Yeah.
Just on Ben Miller, so he had 19 touches on the weekend. Just a contrast to Jaden Short. Of his 19, only 4 were outside the back 50.
Oh yeah, no, Ben Miller is usually kind of like, you know, that spoil lockdown role, which is why I would sort of never bet on him or like a Harris Andrews. Occasionally Wiedering, but Wiedering is helped with his occasional kickouts or kick-out receives. So if Ben Miller
keep kicking in.
Exactly. So that's someone we could look at, especially. Well, just maybe next week, I kind of want to, you know, just narrow the odds, the goalpost, the legs. Just keep an eye on Ben Miller, someone to note. But anyone else kind of caught your eye for the 15 posie, 20 posie bracket or anything for that one?
Well, the interesting one for me is Taranto, right? He's there. Big reason I kind of wanted to get him in Supercoach this year was he's the only midfielder there. There's no one else. He spends more time in the midfield than Nankervis. Like usually your ruckman is usually the guy that lives in the midfield. He spends 10% more time in the midfield than even the ruckman.
Yeah.
So why the hell aren't you touching the ball more, mate?
I'm putting that down just to a bad game, because from what I did watch before I took a nap, he just did not look like interested.
And Taranto, it's a hard thing to say, but I think he stinks of the guy that once he doesn't care, he stinks of the guy that this is going to be too hard this year. I don't really want to play. Like, I don't want to play here.
I'm hoping it was just like the first half of that game, like flying over to Adelaide and just, hearing never tear us apart. And he's like, fuck this. But yeah, like I said, he did pick it up later on, and I know he butchers it. I know like sometimes he just, has really inefficient posies. But at the end of the day, when we're betting on him for 25, I don't care if he kicks it out in the full. I just want him to get it. And when he's just playing super careless in the first half, kind of annoying. But
my hot take, Taranto will be traded at the end of the year.
Oh, you reckon? Wow.
Yeah, I think he leaves and goes to another team. Richmond, they don't have any use for him, and move him on.
Yeah, it's kind of him and Hopper just got a stiff end of the deal. Come to Richmond, have success. Oh, hang on, we're going to be the biggest rebuild there is.
Yeah, and I also think Taranto's still got value being a third. He's not a number one mid, and he never has been a number one mid. At GWS, he was a number 3 or a number 4 mid. Now he comes down here, and it's like, now he comes in, he's the number 1 mid at the worst team in the league. I think he goes to another team and beats a number 3, number 4, and gets him out. Hopper, I don't think that anyone's going to touch him anyway. I think Hopper spends his days being the Richmond, just spends his days there. But Taranto, I think, will go to another team and be good.
Yeah.
So,
well, anyway, St Kilda game. So that bet here, we flick over. So this one, okay, just before we get into it, straight to the negative. David King said this was, I think, the least amount of posies Geelong have gotten under Chris Scott. So what is that, like 20? When did he take over? Was that flag?
2011.
Yeah,
2011.
I'm pretty sure that was the stat. If not, it's very close. But in the first half of this game, quarter 1, quarter 2, Geelong had the least posies as a team under Chris Scott. And of course, we have one fucking Geelong player. I'm pretty sure Ollie Dempsey was maybe on 5 or 6 at halftime. So he did pretty well to get back. He kicked a goal. Mind you, I highlighted him for a goal at $1.80, and he kicked 2. So he looked great in the last quarter. But Mason Wood, great for 30-year-old, just absolutely smashing it on the wing there, taking marks up forward. Great. So I said Ryan Bynes. That's Ryan Burns. And this is my first time actually watching him. Fantastic. But again, all of St Kilda played well. So his 20, I feel like, is a little inflated. He would usually get 15, 16. Jack Sinclair, standard 20 to 25. Great game. Ollie Dempsey, I just spoke of. The worrying sign, when he kicked that goal and then was not rested up forward, he had to play up forward. His wing spot was lost. There was no chance of him getting that footy. So
yeah. I think that was this one I watched a bit of as well. Cats just struggled to score, didn't they? They just,
score and get posies. And you probably saw Windhager. He was obviously going to take the Bailey Smith tag. He took the Holmes tag. So Holmes, their only leading ball getter, struggled to get it. So everyone else struggled to get it.
Yeah. And I think that was, and Windhager is fast becoming...
Oh, he was good.
He might be the best tagger in the game. I know there's a lot of props to James Jordan out there, but Windhager does some jobs. He does...
Not only jobs, but getting 20 posies himself. And I know he kicked a goal, but yeah, so Max Holmes was super quiet. And then...
I'm trying to find... I'm just looking for Holmesy. Where did he even get?
He got 19, because I had another bet with him in it for 20, so he just fell short. But
yeah, okay.
Max Holmes for 20 next week, I'm super bullish on. Geelong are versing Brisbane, so I'll be at that game at the Gabba, so I will have...
You don't tag.
No, we don't tag. And, Brisbane...
Oh, you got Barry occasionally.
Nah, Barry hasn't tagged for 2 years since that iconic Melbourne semi.
And it was one of the best shutdown drops I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that's iconic. So
it's kind of Dunkley doing the offense-defense sort of mix. He'll kind of have a body on him, but no hard tag, really.
And then, sorry, you keep going.
No, I was just saying, so Holmes will be good for that game. But yeah, anyone who had a little, dabble on Geelong this game would have found it pretty rough. For Posy-wise, Shannon Neal, I'm not sure if he kicked one. I was bullish on him for a goal at $1.20.
Took a couple of grabs, didn't he?
But yeah, super unlucky to fall short. That's the first. However, that's our first 4 bets. 1 leg short, 2. Oh, that one was unlucky.
Shane Neal kicked 2.
Oh man, this is very, very rough start. So what are we at? Saturday night at the moment, and we've fallen 1 leg short, all of them, except that Adelaide game where Peatling and Thurs let us both down. So yeah, very unlucky. Is there anyone like you had noting?
Well,
I love the 15-20 posi bracket, but
Windhager, yeah, I know he's a tag, and I would never bet on it. Like, I don't know, but like, I'm just going to look at. I just want to see Windhager's game against Adelaide, which he didn't get a tag job, I don't think, and they got blitzed.
Yeah.
So, but
you gotta be careful of the blitzings because it really fucks up the
so
count.
Windhager got 19 against Adelaide in a smacking.
Wow. So
And now, when they gave him a nice juicy tag job, and he sat in the CBAs all night. And who they got next week? They got Richmond. I doubt they'll tag Toronto. I doubt they will.
I don't know. I still feel like they do because you don't want to go in, not tagging.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a stupid move if.
And now, okay, that makes me scared of Toronto. What I said before, being the best midfielder on the ground. I think McRae gets a free run at it, doesn't he?
I think so. I think McRae literally just feasts against the Richmond while Windhager.
They're not going to tag. They won't tag. So Windhager goes to Toronto, and I still think he still gets touches.
Yeah, no, sorry. Saints will tag. Richmond, won't.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. They won't tag, and Saints will just do what the fuck they want. And I think Windhager, when he does tag and if he gets like on Toronto, he's going to just get a cut. I wouldn't bet on him for 20 or anything, but
no, Windhager. I was just looking. So he was $1.36 heading into that Geelong St Kilda game. Anything over $1.20, I will take, and it's like you said,
what was that for 20 or for 15?
15.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I think that could be very good. And like you said, I wouldn't usually bet on a tagger, but Windhager has shown in his first 2 games this year that he can still get the footy
and just
comfortably and tag.
So round 1 Saints, right, went with Boyd, who's been dropped, Jack Steele, Jack McRae. They all had 80% CBAs. It was the highest by 3 players in the league.
Yeah.
And then after that, it drops down to the next highest after that was Windhager on 26%.
I love that by Ross Line. Get your mids in the mid. None of this stupid shit. Yeah.
But then there was now I like his mix a lot better. So he brought the big boy Rowan Marshall in to get the job done.
Yeah.
And Windhager went up to 81%, and Jack McRae and Jack Steele sat at 80% as well.
But I like that. I don't want to have
he's got his 3 boys now, and he doesn't want anyone else in there.
Because nothing annoys me more when you've got 7 players. Some will be on 60, 50, 50, 40. Nah, you got to have your ball magnets on there. McRae getting 30 plus, Windhager shutting down, and Steele, was it Steele the other one who was 80% or?
Yeah, Jack Steele's going to get his 80. Jack McRae's getting his 80, and now I honestly think Jack Sinclair he's not going to get in that midfield.
No, but
I don't think he will, and it's better for him. They don't want him in there. They've got their 3 boys now.
Yeah, Jack Sinclair, I'm not worried about getting the footy or CBAs.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah, but that is very interesting and makes me more bullish on McRae for next week for 30 plus if he's just bona fide 80%.
He's going to. McRae's going to live in there. If McRae drops below, he got 78 on the weekend, so basically 80. If McRae drops below 70 this year, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anyone else I kind of wanted to note, other than I think
Bailey Smith might come back, but
I don't think he'll be paying good odds. He had that great game against Freo where, what did he get? Was it 25 to 30 and a goal?
I think he got 30 and a goal, yeah.
Yeah, so at this point in time, I know he had a blinder. I would just kind of hold off and see what he averages or how he goes. Who are they versing? Sorry, Geelong next week? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I would kind of just maybe hold fire a bit on.
And I think even if Bailey Smith plays, I think that Geelong. Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because I would have thought Fremantle would have destroyed that Geelong midfield, and they didn't. So, but I think up there at the Gabba, Brisbane will feast on that midfield.
Yeah. No, I think so. I'm just having a quick look through the last bit of the Geelong. Oh, Jeremy Cameron also hit. He is a great high half forward who still gets a lot of the footy.
Yeah.
He's hit twice this year, being over $1.60 in both occasions. So I was tossing up between Dempsey, who was 9 out of 10, or Jeremy Cameron, who was 6 out of 10. he's still finding he was, I don't know if you watched all this game. He was playing in defense and like getting it in the back 50 and stuff. He
I
wants
think
footy. He runs.
The way they say is that he doesn't. He's the one guy in Geelong that's allowed to he's allowed to go wherever he wants. He doesn't have to follow any team rules. He just goes where he thinks the ball will go.
Let's transition to the Brisbane game. So actually, just before we go through, I'll just talk about my bet. Will Ashcroft, I had for 20. He hit. Lockie Neal hit, but this bet was void. So we got the $50 back, which we invested into the next game. So we had a rough week, but thankfully didn't lose too much. So the $50 we got back, we put into this this one, which actually got up. But anyway, so if we'll just go back to this one, because Jack Graham, I don't know how late of an out he was, but I didn't realize until I was at the game. I'm like,
I think it was 12 hours or the day before.
Oh, so I just missed that. And then Cam Rayner, stunk it up. I thought he's had a couple of shockers, but so Cam Rayner for posies or a goal, been very quiet at the moment, but the Ashcroft boys were great, and Lockie Neal bounced back after that tag job against Sydney James Jordan. So it was good to see him bounce back. The line struggled for 70% of that game. So you were saying about Sam Day maybe getting replaced.
Well, I think especially going up against Geelong, it's a big match. Good chance for Roosters to go in 3-0. Big opportunity for them to cement, like just get some breathing room on everyone else.
Yeah,
I reckon they bring Fortress back, and that forces Geelong's hand. They have to bring Reece Stanley into the team. So,
well, I actually Darcy Fort used to play for the Cats, so that'll be cool to see him actually get a good game, play well.
Yeah.
He has been playing well, and like I feel really bad for just because Sam Day I wanted him to do well, but against West Coast, I think he had one shot at goal, missed horribly right out in front. Yeah, Darcy Fort coming in, we'll mark those, kick those. So maybe Darcy Fort for a cheeky goal or so.
Stretch the small, if DK is playing ruck, that Geelong back line, even the new kid, I liked it. What's the new kid's name? O'Connor not O'Connor? No,
it starts with M, I'm pretty sure. It was, I had it on my screen a second ago. McLaughlin, McCall?
Yeah, my bad. I should know this.
No, that's right. I should know who played. I don't know if you'll find it before me.
Let's bring him up. He played really well. I was very impressed.
Will McLaughlin.
Yeah, he's the big, isn't he? The tall.
He wasn't he didn't seem that tall, but he played great in the forward line. But I just noticed him live from.
No, I'm talking about the cat.
Oh, sorry. He took that good mark.
He got the Rising Star nom this week.
Are you talking Ted Klossy? No, is that him?
News. Connor O'Sullivan.
Oh, was he the one who took the good mark?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was him, isn't it? He's the kid, the big, tall, strong performance snake fielder. Yeah, number 11 draft pick. Is he tall? I could be talking shit here. Let's have a look.
No, well, you're looking into that. Just the last things to cap over for the Brisbane game is it was great to see a lot of the Lions players bounce back. Lockie Neal getting 35, and Dunkley also, he's just getting so much of the footy, but he just fell short of the 25, 23. Dunkley's always a player who will teeter between 20 to 25. Not quite bullish enough for 25, but if he's paying over $1.20 for 20 posies, absolutely love that. Harris Andrews had 20 posies. Berry is looking fantastic. So Berry is usually way too short for 15. But going into the Eagles game, Jared Berry was he was $1.40 for 20 posies. So both games this year, he's comfortably hit over 20. He got 27 in the first game and then 26 in this. So maybe Jared Berry for 20 on the wing there. Just, playing great at the Gabba. Could be consideration for 20.
He will go head to head with Baz too, potentially.
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure.
Not a tag though, but just they'll be I think Baz is spending still a little bit of time on that wing. Well, look at these two midfields though. Surely Brisbane are just gonna fucking feast on that Geelong's midfield carcass.
Yeah, I don't know how well, they'll feast or beat them overall, but someone, again, who I'm loving the halfback position, Darcy Wilmot has hit 20 over both his games, 25, and then he got 23 on the weekend, and he got 23 against West Coast, albeit West Coast did play well. I thought he was barely going to get near it, so it's great to see Darcy Wilmot get 20 in his first 2 games. He's been someone I loved for 15. If he can constantly hit over the 20 bracket, I'm liking him for 20 plus this year. Maybe he could be our boy.
Sorry, I'm just looking.
Actually, wait, I've got one more good boy who. So Jasper Fletcher. I highlighted Jasper Fletcher for 15. So, but the thing is, right? I was at the game, and he has always like had that wing spot locked down. Always plays wing opposite side to Berry. Bruce Reville came back, and he played the wing. Jasper Fletcher actually played, I would say, the whole game in the back line. He got a lot of the footy and came up and kicked a goal. So the work rate Jasper Fletcher does goes completely under the radar by Ashcroft, or both Ashcrofts, all the other mids there. So Jasper Fletcher, I really like. Don't know how bullish I would be on for him to hit twice in a row, but someone to definitely pay attention, especially if he's playing sort of halfback.
Just looking at because obviously this was the West Coast game as well. So Jack Graham was the laid out. I think he comes back in, he gets those CBA minutes back, and then he's a safe chance for next week to get that 15. And I think he's pretty safe as houses. Harley Reid increased his CBA count a bit. Harley's going to have to pop off eventually. I wouldn't bet on Harley though.
Harley just got 15, and he has hit 5 out of his last 10, and he was $1.26. Someone who's $1.26, I expect them to be hitting 7, 8 out of 10. For him to be like just teetering there, I'm not that confident on.
He's a high pick.
Actually, sorry. I'm looking at Ruben. He was $1.16, and he hit 8 out of 10. Sorry. I was looking at Ruben Jimby. Harley Reid $1.16. But still way too short. But Jack Graham, who you mentioned first, I really like him. But if he's going to be too short as well, but he looked great in the first game against Gold Coast.
Like they played pretty well. I think surely him coming back, I feel like people don't forget about him a bit, maybe, especially they got pumped the first week.
I hope so. If he's over $1.20, I do like him.
The only one was like a couple like Clay Hall, Baker's CBA minutes went through the roof.
Yeah, Baker had a great game too. Like, what did he get? Baker had 24 posies.
That could fuck with Jack Graham.
I don't know too much. He had a great game. What was it? Liam Baker was actually $1.70 to hit over 20, and he's hit twice this year. 21 against the Suns, and remember, they got fucking pumped. So for him to get 21 in a demolition, pretty good. And then 24 in a so-so game at the Gabba against the reigning premiers. I feel like, Liam Baker could be a good pick for 20 plus at West Coast.
I think Freo get their first win and they win big.
Oh, the derby, yeah. So that'll be cool.
I expect Jack Graham. Well, if he's recovered, it sounds like he's going to be recovered in time to play, and then I expect him to come back in, get his CBA ups. Harley Reid, I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Yeah, he's what did Kane say? Harley plead. So I don't know if you listened to Fireball today. He's calling him Harley plead because he pleads for free kicks all the time.
We're gonna write up a list by the end of this fucking thing. Harley Reid won't be at West Coast. I don't think he'll be there. I just get the feeling he'll leave. He'll be the most hated player in the AFL because he'll go to Bombers, who everyone else fucking hates. So
he'll just be getting booed. He'll get the Horn Francis treatment. We're at that Collingwood game, and Horn Francis is still getting booed. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, honestly, he seemed like I wouldn't want to spend that much money on a guy that's.
If he's $1.18, like I would much rather be going like Liam Baker, who is like over $1.50 for 20.
Yeah. It's just even in like that, the hype around him, it's too big. Just like, and I hope he lives up to it because I think he's an incredible player to watch. Looking back at that draft though, like. They're all good, but Harley seems so much better than all those kids that got drafted that year. And he's just, I don't know, he's kind of came back a bit. Is it just on form? I don't know. So,
I don't know. Maybe just, he had such a great first year. He thinks it comes a little bit easy, but, you got to stick at it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anyone really to note. I noted, Wilmot, Fletcher, who I'm keen on.
What did Cam Rayner get, then?
I think off the top of my head, I reckon 12. He didn't have a great game. Cam Rayner, 8. Oh my God.
I think though that Cats don't have great small defenders. But he loves a big occasion. First night game at the Gabba.
I thought that against West Coast, he got 13 in his first.
West Coast is not enough for him. It's not enough in it for him.
See, but I wouldn't go Cam Rayner for posies at that rate. I'd go him for a goal. He's missed a goal in his first 2 games of the year.
Okay, goal. Definitely put him in for a goal, I think. Because, I just think it's like, remember when fucking Pumba went fucking bonkers in the
the prelim, yeah.
Oh, he loves these type of games. He loves to but you need to give him something of interest.
But again, he would probably be over $1.20. And for context, he was $1.12 last week, but that was against West Coast where he's expected to kick one easy. So I feel like against Geelong, he'll get pushed out maybe to $1.25. So that could be good value.
Yeah, and I just don't I'm thinking of Geelong smalls. Honestly, I don't know who's going to go.
You think defenders?
Who's going to go to Cam Rayner?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no Zach Tui anymore. There's no Jed Hughes at the moment.
Well, it could be Zach Guthrie. He's actually just
too tall. Won't keep up with him.
Yeah, Zach Guthrie, just actually speaking of, he's almost moved out of the 15 posse bracket value-wise because he's getting the lion's share of the kickouts. Speaking of the kickouts earlier in the conversation, here's someone getting 5, 6, 7 posies. No, there's no Tom Stewart next week, right?
No, I think he might play.
Oh, he might?
I think he's going to play. Well, so he's cleared of all damage. He's a test for this week.
All right, so actually...
if you're the Cats, you're going to risk it.
If Tom Stewart is not playing, I'm fucking loading up on Zach Guthrie for 20 posies.
Bet your house on it. Also, even Jack Henry, I don't know what he's fucking playing. He's going to... So, as soon as Tom Stewart went out, Jack Henry went bonkers.
Jack Henry, both weeks, he's hit over 15. I had him in a separate multi for 15. What let me down was fucking Max Holmes getting 19 instead of 20. But Jack Henry hit 15, and he was going into that game. Jack Henry, for 15, $2.45. So I noted him because I was at the Geelong Freo game. He had 24 posies. Look, that's an outlier. He's not going to get that all the time, but he's looking very confident. And yeah, Tom Stewart going down probably helped him with those last intercept marks because he got 5 or 6 in the last quarter.
Yeah. I think if Tom Stewart's back though, that changes things a fair bit. I think Zach Guthrie's looking great.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that he's the better Guthrie now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So remember, Zach Guthrie for 15 is... We used to get him at $1.50. He's now under $1.15. So he was $1.12 for the Saints game. He'll probably be $1.10 or under for the Brisbane game.
And he's the Dezo kick-in taker now.
He will get 7 posies. I reckon Brisbane will bounce back, and Brisbane are notoriously inaccurate for goal. Zach Guthrie for 20 last week. Actually, what was he for 20? I'm just trying to check for comparison, sorry. Zach Guthrie for 20, $1.67. So yeah, I do like that. Especially, so he has hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has hit 5 out of his last 7. That is pretty good for Zach Guthrie.
Who's your third tall? So your forward line's Hipwood. He'll go to Sullivan, or he'll go to Jack Henry. Who else? You've got Sam Day or the resting ruck and forward.
Yeah, so it's going to be Day or Ford. It's not going to be both.
I'm just wondering if there's anyone that's going to make force Tom Stewart or force Zach Guthrie to defend.
Oh, no, not at all. Brisbane's forward is just their weakness
Smalls.
At the moment. Yeah, smalls. So
but when you say that's their weakness, but look at this Geelong backline. It's going to be Oisin Mullen. He can't go to Rayner. He can't go to Zach Bailey. He won't be able to keep up with them. And then the other ones is Lawson Humphreys and Jack Bowes.
Actually, what was Oisin Mullen
for? I don't like him for touches.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck. Who am I thinking of? What was the other guy for touches? Oh, Nevitt. He's the other one. So he got 21.
Oh, yeah, he got a lot of CBAs.
Yeah. So he looked freaking great. So he got 21 in his first game, and I'm just checking this on the fly. I think
he was a bit lower this week.
Oh, under 15. Nevitt got 16, so that's twice he's actually hit over. He's not paying great, $1.26. Maybe someone I wouldn't take a chance.
Bailey Smith coming back will drop his CBA minutes, so that's if he's not there. If Baz isn't there though.
But at that rate, I would go on the other end, and I would go hard on the Brisbane Lions boys, maybe for 25. I would go. Yeah, that would.
I think it's a. Depends. I think Brisbane's got something to, like, they've got something to sink their teeth into. I know you had Sydney in the first week. You're shaking off the cobwebs that week, but like what Dunkley said, going at 86%, Neil's going at 80%. McCluggage, strangely enough, is getting a lot of CBA minutes. I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, I thought McCluggage was going to be like the Sam Durham of Essendon, who kind of gets phased out and plays 50% CBAs. But yeah, I'm surprised.
It seems like they're liking Will Ashcroft at that 50% right now. So,
yeah, well, the thing is, I said before how Jasper Fletcher has been pushed off the wing from Bruce. That's kind of not 100% true. Bruce pushed him off, but also Levi Ashcroft was getting a lot of starts on the wing too. So I don't know what his CBAs were, but Levi Ashcroft playing on the wing is also playing on the ball, and it's just kind of, I don't know.
So Levi Ashcroft is yet to take a CBA.
Okay, yeah, I'd believe that. He's been around the ball a lot, but not starting.
Brisbane have used the least amount of people in a CBA all year.
Oh, how many have they used altogether? Like 5?
Altogether, including Ruck. So
take out Ruckman. Yeah.
Take out the Ruckman. It's Josh Dunkley, Lockie Neal, Hugh McCluggage, Ashcroft, and Cam Rayner.
Oh, so it is 5. Wow. Okay, yeah.
No, Zach Bailey, nah. Levi Ashcroft, nah. Yeah. It's just, they know their boys. That's the thing. It's like they're not going to stray away from that too much. Not even a Dane Zorko for a sneaky CBA.
Oh no, Dane Zorko. I'm surprised Dane Zorko played this whole role in the back line, because I was worried about him for 25, but he played the whole thing, halfback, looked great. He still wants a bunch of the footy, so he got 28, looked comfortable. So someone I might consider him for next week for 25.
Yeah.
We can let's go to the North game.
The only one with the Zorko copping a O'Shea Mullen or O'Connor.
Do you reckon he would get the tag, not Neil or
Neil? Sorry, Neil's going to get O'Connor, but maybe they just sit like a resting O'Shea Mullen or a Jack Bowes on him.
Yeah, you can't have Dane Zorko just doing what he wants in the back line.
Nah, I think that's pretty proven that you can't do that. I think O'Connor, just like for old time's sake, O'Connor to Neil.
And any coach to do that, I think, Chris Scott is, smart thinking ahead and just, won't go into that blind.
Yeah.
Good point for that. Second last game of the round is North and Melbourne. And so this was our only game we got up. So I'll quickly just go through the bets. Tom Sparrow, I was a little bit iffy on because last year, I think he maybe was like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. And every week I got him, it was a miss. He played great, even though Melbourne got spanked. Sheasel, safe as houses at the moment, so I've switched from LDU. LDU was my favourite 25 plus for North Melbourne last year. I think that is definitely Sheasel now because LDU hasn't hit this year. Jake Bowie, lion's share of the kickouts. No Stephen May. Actually, Jono, do you mind just checking that what Jake Bowie had? And last one was Tristan.
For disposals or
no kickouts. How many?
Yeah, sure.
And then the last one was Tristan Cherry, who was the All-Australian. He is a absolute beast, best ruckman going around at the moment. And for him to get 20 against Max Gawn has just solidified my trust in Big Cherry. If he can do that against Gawn, I want to back him.
He's the best. He wants his All-Australian blazer from he wants to take it off. Take it back.
Yeah, exactly. So if he can do that against Gawn, I like that. We just have to be careful if he's too short next week.
Jack Bowie and Salem both had 5 each.
Oh, he shared it with Salem. Okay, Salem, I think he got in the 20s, did he? So
he did, but he got a lot of his touches late in the game in junk time.
Yeah, still.
I know in the betting world that's fine, but
yeah.
I think if he's in a game which is like a bit
not
more
a blowout, yeah,
not a blowout, and there's pressures on, is he actually going to rack them up? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
no, well, yeah.
The other one is I don't think he'll be back this week. I think Jake Lever is also injured, isn't he?
Is he out?
Ankle problem and didn't finish the game. So Jake Lever's out. I would be betting Salem and Bowie.
Yeah, no, so I do like them for 15. Jake Bowie, he was $1.28 going into this game. If again Stephen May, I think still out, right? So I think he could go under $1.20. I don't know. It's teetering on that risk reward. I don't want to put I still like Jake Bowie, but if I'm paying $1.15, no, $1.20 plus, then I would take that. Anyone
Harrison
else?
Petty and Tom McDonald will both have to play backline if
if Lever and May
are out. So
well, either way, I think Bowie's
yeah, that's what I mean. So Bowie's going to be on kicking duty I think they'll just share it then too.
No, I think so.
I like Jake Bowie a lot. I think he's going to be that pig in that back line. I think especially once Stephen May finally retires, Jake Bowie's going to be the kicking king of Melbourne. So
not quite the caliber of what Caleb Daniel's doing at the moment, but you have someone.
Well, but I could see him going at that kind of because Salem's old as shit too. I feel like within a couple of years he'll be going at that kind of usage rate and be that guy. You're like, oh fuck, Salem got 20 kick-ins this week, shit like that. So Salem Bowie. I just see one day. I'm just looking at fan footy now. Amazing how many Melbourne players got the traffic cone.
Yeah, the witches hats.
Yeah.
So it's someone whether if Melbourne, it's kind of hard because you're kind of thinking if Melbourne are going to get pumped, we don't know really where Melbourne sit right now, but Bowie is going to be getting the kickouts. Melbourne don't seem to be dominant, so whoever they're versing, they're going to be putting up a fight. The ball's going to be in Melbourne's back line. I do like Bowie, regardless at the moment.
Just checking, they're playing Gold Coast.
Gold Coast looked great against West Coast, but we didn't know which West Coast we're
getting.
It's
in Melbourne though, where Gold Coast struggle at the MCG.
Hey, they got to win.
They barely play.
Yeah. Usually the team who never gets a win away.
And they're going to go back to back potentially. And they who wins that midfield battle?
I think Gold Coast at the moment. Yeah. Because they're going to have to put Petrarca forward because they. Yeah.
Well, that was one thing I was going to say. Just Petrarca went from 80% CBA last week, and he's dropped to 45%.
Yeah, that's crazy. So Petrarca, he did hit 20. He got 23 posies, so he did hit the 20 bracket. He was $1.14 for 20 posies. Now I'm not betting on that if I know someone's going to play 30-40% in the forward line, especially Melbourne need someone to kick to in that forward line. I know they got Van Ruin, right? But I don't know, they just need someone else.
Trent Rivers looked like he was going to be that fourth mid, started to last year.
Yeah.
And now I was very shocked on the weekend that he didn't get a CBA, especially with Petrarca going forward.
Yeah, even still, I know he missed, I think he got 16. So he played well the week before. When I say well, he got 24. But so he was 8 out of 10. He does sometimes have a game. I think he had one late last year where he got a 14 or something. So he can have just a little outlier.
I think I wonder though, is that kind of stinker, especially with the outs in that back line, they might push him into use him in defense this week and he won't get that. He might be a stay away this week, I think.
Maybe, especially when, what's his name? Tom Sparrow, fucking steps up and gets 25 in the mid there. So, yeah.
And he had 50% CBAs.
Yeah.
The other one that surprised me was your boy, Ed Langdon got 45% CBA.
See, Jono, when he says my boy, so I was bullish on Ed Langdon just for draft because he played pretty much the whole practice match in the mid. And I was like, this is crazy. He's getting so many CBAs. Fucking nothing. I did get none round one, I'm guessing. And
he got one.
That was the last one where Petrarca had to
went forward.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, now he's getting 50%. Ed Langdon is $1.58. Well, was $1.58 last week for 20. He's someone who averages over 20. He was doing 22.2 last year. Someone, very strongly to consider against Gold Coast.
I think if they have to play Petrarca forward, Ed Langdon and Sparrow seem to be the guys that are getting the scraps in there. So
because it's easy. Not easy, but a winger is someone who can run, who can scrap for a footy. So throwing them in the mid kind of makes sense, especially if they need Rivers in the back line, Petrarca forward. So.
Let me just want to check there. They've got no one due back, have they? I'm missing. I don't really like. I know they got a couple suspended, but. Yeah, I don't think they've got anyone of note that I'm. Oh, Aiden Johnson. He was the bald kid. He kind of looks like Nathan Jones reincarnated. Yeah, chrome dome with a mustache. He's a big-bodied mid, and he plays a bit of forward as well. If he comes back into the team, I don't think he's a high possession player. He's only played one game, but he might fuck with the chance of Sparrow and Ed Langdon. He might fill in for Petrarca potentially in that midfield, in that forward midfield a bit.
Yeah, well, either way, I'm kind of more bullish on a Sparrow or a Langdon than a Petrarca. I'd rather bet on the potential than the chance. Yeah.
Cosy Pickett due back round 4.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Cosy Pickett,
So,
I would only ever bet on for a goal. I don't. His
no,
CBA rotations
but
are
I
low
think
as.
that might increase Petrarca.
Getting out of the
You don't need Petrarca as much in that forward line. Stephen May is still to be confirmed. So
yeah, so I might hold off on Petrarca. I think there was someone else I just wanted to note for that game. Who was it? Oh no, actually, okay. So yeah, Gorn, who's usually someone I do like for 15, another ruckman. He was $1.09, and obviously, what's the coach's name again? Said that thing about Max Gorn had the personal reasons, had a really underperforming game.
Good one, yeah.
Good one, yeah. So someone to note maybe for a bounce back, because he's someone who averaged 18.4, 8 out of 10. He can get in the 20 posi bracket. 20 posi bracket pretty easy. Obviously, he got outdone by Cherry, who's probably arguably the best ruckman at the moment. Keep an eye on for Max Gorn for next week if he's in the $1.20.
He'll bounce. Don't poke the bear.
Poke the bear. The thing is, he might still be really short. If he's under $1.10, I wouldn't worry about it. But
Jared Witts looks like he's on his wheelchair right now. I think Gorn's ready to feed. Gorn will, and Witts notoriously doesn't like to run. So yeah.
Jared Witts. Luckily, versus Matty, he made Matty Flynn omitted from West Coast, and then Jared Witts got the week off. So I think Jared Witts could have a good game, but I would obviously just go for Gorn to bounce back.
I think Gorn, and I'd say a bunch. I could see him getting like a classic Gorn game, 5 marks, heaps of hit outs, a goal, just piss off everyone. I'm still the king.
He was the only other person I wanted to note who just had a stinker, and I just think he can bounce back easy.
North Melbourne, they actually go with a pretty tight mix in that midfield. They go with Tom Powell, they go with Harry Sheasel.
Stop there. Tom Powell, so he's someone who was kind of a tease last year. I wouldn't quite bet on, a bit too inconsistent. So Tom Powell was $1.35, who I did highlight, mind you, for 20. So he got 27 in the first week and then 31 against Melbourne. So he was $2.20 for 25 posies, and he's hit them back-to-back weeks. So keep an eye on Tom Powell. He's taken over the LDU.
The only worrying sign for them, they're playing Adelaide.
Against Adelaide's mid, who just fucking... destroyed Essendon, and who's looked really good. Destroyed Saints, but yeah.
One thing would be interesting for me in Adelaide will be, do they finally roll out the Neil Bullen tag on a Sheasel?
Yeah.
Notoriously went after Dacos at Melbourne. Do they finally wield it?
Well, I know he's just a high half forward, good runner. I haven't bet. I loved Neil Bullen last year, but he's not been on my radar at all since being Adelaide.
And he's there's too many midfielders at that for him to get a touch of that,
or he's too short.
There's Key, they've got Keys, they've got Neil, who notoriously can
very similar role.
They can do a tag job. Will they finally? They haven't needed to, because they've just backed their midfield to win it. They probably do it again. They probably just go head to head. Let Shizzle get his 30.
I'm still quite bullish on either one of those mids. And also last thing before we move on, Caleb Daniel, I was almost laughing at how short short odds. So he was $1.
How short he is.
He was $1.10 or $1.11 for 20 posies. And then he got 24 in the first week. And look, we all know the role he's playing, kick outs and shit like that. But in the 25 posi bracket, he was $1.52. So he just missed the week before. This week, he was the leading equal leading with Tom Powell, 31. He took most of the kickouts. They looked to him Caleb Daniel, I very much underrated this year for betting wise. So could be very sneaky for 25 plus.
Ooh, 25 plus.
Because he got 24 and then 31. 20, there's probably not much value in him for money, but $1.52 for 25, just because they want the ball in his hands. Unlike, Richmond, who we're kind of worried about Jane Short, it's like he has the role. So, yeah.
I think as well, Adelaide are going to get... Adelaide, I think, will be the highest scoring team this year. He's going to get a lot of kick-ins this week as well again. So,
I think so too. But the big thrill seeker, Fogarty, they're all in good form. But yeah, I think I don't know. I just really like what I saw. I watched the last half of the Melbourne North game, and yeah, he was just give him the
And
footy.
It's a weird that like they're happy to just let Colby McKercher sit on the wing. I would have
I don't.
thought that they would let him share it, but they're just going to leave him out there to rot on the wing. It seems.
Yeah, Colby McKercher is probably an avoid for betting at this point because again, he's someone who was too short for 20. Colby McKercher was actually $1.28, and he averaged 27 posies at the back end of last year. So obviously right now he missed last week and he missed this week. So someone I just avoid. Someone who's got a role change is usually great, but he's got a role change of like uncertainty. His position in halfback is just not there anymore.
I know it's not relevant to your betting, but Caleb Daniel had 25 kicks as well.
Yeah, and Caleb Daniel is not in there to get the footy. He is there to switch the play. He's there to kick out. He's there to receive a kick out. Like, his job is not to get the hard footy. He is there for cheapies and distribution.
Yeah, just like you're saying that. So of his, what did he have? 31 on the weekend.
Can I guess like?
5.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like 25 were uncontested or something. Yeah.
5 were contested.
Yeah, wow.
Only one clearance. He's not going in there to get the ball.
And I tell you what, those
give me the ball and I'll use it. That's it.
I could probably remember. So there's a couple of contested ones where he's around like a ball up in the 50. Someone handballs it out to him and he hack kicks it out of there or something. So like that's the extent.
And I think like he did have 5 clangers on the weekend. That's probably just had to hack it forward.
Give me the clangers, kick it. Nah, but we don't want him to have too many clangers because we want him to have the role.
Also, I know. I think he was just let me check this out. So he was 250 more meters gained than the second most in the game.
What do you get, a kilometer?
So almost he went 780, and the next highest was 200 more. Yeah, so his next highest was 580, and it's Caleb Chandler from Melbourne.
Because he's getting 25 kicks, and pretty much every one of those kicks, he's kicking from the defensive goals line, kicking it to the 60, 70 meter line when he's going for a run. So he's just Tom Powell though. In fairness, I would say about him, he's doing everything. He's getting touches, he's getting contested ball, he's getting clearances, he's getting tackles, he's getting marks, he's doing a lot. And that's what we want to see. I was a bit iffy on him last year just for consistency, because he's someone who averages, well, this is last year, mind you, like 20 posies. I don't think I'm quite ready for that 20 posie bracket, but this year he's averaging 29. So he's clearly worked on the off season. He's getting a lot of the footy. Someone we should really consider.
Yeah, Fino Sullivan, I
kind of want to just avoid the early gamers at the moment. I got effed over by Davidson, who missed and then hit. It's like I want to see a bit more consistency. What did he get?
And I think, he only got 12. Yeah. And it's just interesting that like he was pretty highly touted. They're sitting him in deep, like he's sitting in the defensive line. Caleb Daniel's not giving you the ball, mate. Like,
no, just like regardless, Fino Sullivan was $1.26. And he's going into his second game and like misses. Like fuck yeah, I'm not doing that. Let's a lot of those early game players like Sam Layla, right? He looked amazing. Dustin Martinez, look how good he is. I'm from memory, I think he got 10 posies and he was probably like $1.18. So it's like there's no value.
Justin, are you scared to bet on these North Melbourne boys with this Adelaide midfield?
Currently, no. Like I would be scared for LDU just because Tom Powell has taken a bunch of his footy. But from what we saw against, I watched most of that Doggies game, and then this one against Melbourne. Like Doggies and Melbourne are 2 good teams, and they obviously competed well. And the Doggies just lost it, and then they just showed Melbourne how to play. So I'm really liking them at the moment.
I think the most exciting thing for me about North Melbourne is that midfield. Like where they're. We can finally see they've got something that's going to work there. It's quite, but yeah, it's going to be like Adelaide's forward line's pretty fucking cool right now. So I don't think they can go over there and win by any means. I think it's over there.
I don't think they've actually won a game at Adelaide Oval ever. They were saying that on the Fireball Monday one. So.
Well, probably going to be a bit longer now. Maybe gather round. They might get that win.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it'll be this week, but I think they'll go over there and have a crack.
Yeah, well, either way, we've noted a couple people there from North and stuff. So for the last game of round 2, which is the Freo Sydney game, which was... So actually, I have a little thing. You might not see this, Jono, but I'm just going to... Oh, I forgot to include it. So I have a little shout out thing. So someone in my comments section, Chilton Gaming, who actually commented on my YouTube video last week, who said, careful, like, James Jordan could spend time on Brayshaw tomorrow, if not Sarong. So James Jordan spent the majority of the time on Sarong, but like, I'm not sure how much he went to Brayshaw, but as you can see, Brayshaw was the one who let us down, and he has been like my most confident for 25 plus for a while now. So one to note for a bounce back, but otherwise, just to quickly go through everyone he hit. James Rowbottom bounced back after being like just having a shit round one. Was it round zero? I think it was around zero.
Round one. Brisbane.
Yeah, where he got 11 posies, barely touched it. Corey Wagner has been looking amazing. You can't miss him. Long blonde hair in the back line there. O'Meara is having the biggest purple patch I've ever seen. Like,
he's tagging though.
O'Meara, yeah.
He tags on the weekend. Oh, he did a run with roll. He tagged. He
had the tag thing on like fan footy, but I swear to God, like his tags aren't like that harsh. He's finding so much.
No. But he kept Heaney fucking pretty quiet by Heaney standards.
Yeah, very true. And then last good one, Jordan Clark. Super reliable. Really like him. I think he's getting a bit more of the footy than Luke Ryan at the moment. So,
Luke Ryan's a worry.
Yeah, well, I still like Jordan Clark for the footy, but so this game just missed, and so we'll take this, because it missed by one leg, the bonus bet into the Friday or the Thursday night game, which I will post on YouTube, and I'll have the bets after this video. But yeah, anyone to note for that Freo game? I was kind of bummed about Brayshaw just missing.
Heaney, by his standards, was down. I thought that was But
Heaney has been someone like, look, last year he did pop off, but I don't know what it is. I'm not bullish on Heaney for 20 posies. Isaac Heaney was at $1.17 going into that game. Chad Warner, who I highlighted, I'm pretty sure, so he was at $1.24. He blew out to $1.40. Like, get in my bet. He was 8 out of 10, and he played better than Heaney that game, but he's someone who fluctuates between like 19 posies and 25. Heaney, I don't know. I'm not as bullish on.
Yeah, their midfield mix, like, I know, so they're obviously not playing this week, so it's not much to really say.
True, yeah.
Who they play, I don't know who sure they play when they come back.
They play North at Marvel.
James Jordan will get a good tag. So that's the thing. If James Jordan's like, he's not but whoever he gets, he's doing a fucking job on.
Yeah,
absolute pocket job.
Again, I just a great opportunity to say thank you for all the comments and the likes and stuff on the video, because someone also noted on my, I think it was round 1 video. No, actually, it was my round 0 video. Someone noted James Jordan, played pretty well in the Pracky matches and could be someone to bet on. Nate Morgan, I'm just looking at your comment. He was $1.50 in that round 0 one. Both games he's hit. So kind of like Windhager, a tagger who's also still getting a lot of the footy.
If you like James Jordan's, I think he led the round in CBA, the whole league. He went at 91% CBAs. And isn't it funny if you're tagging at 91%, but the guy you're tagging isn't in there for 91% of the time? So what's going on?
He's getting the footy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So Caleb Sarong was in the 86, but so he's just doing extra CBAs just for the hell of it now.
Yeah, and so he has gone from $1.50 to $1.24. Look, if he's sub $1.20, like, I just don't think I can do it. For someone who averaged, he averaged, I think it was like under 13 posies in the back half of last year. Yeah, he's kind of skyrocketed this year. 19 posies he got 20 posies round 0, 19 round 1, and then he got 24. Look, he's had a great 3-week period, but under $1.20, I don't see the value. I'd rather find someone else.
The other one for me would be, I've got a couple of others actually, but Jaeger O'Meara, just on him. If you're going to bet on Jaeger O'Meara, it's got to be this week, because this is probably your last week without Hayden Young.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Bloody Nathan O'Driscoll's playing well and getting a lot of the footy too. But yeah, O'Meara.
Funny enough, first week against Geelong, Nathan sat in the middle and Jaeger sat out on the wing. I was at that game. You were too, actually.
Yeah.
But then this week they switched it.
Yeah.
Nathan sat out on the wing.
And O'Meara was just it's so crazy when I think of Brayshaw and Sarong. They're just absolute contest. Well, Sarong is. Brayshaw still gets the footy whether he's in like 60% CBAs. I know he's in more this year, but to have O'Meara just 30 back-to-back weeks and just getting way more than Brayshaw and Sarong. Like, it's crazy.
The other one for me then was it's just like Longmuir being a coach. I think he's probably the coach on the hot seat out of all the coaches. He's the one he's on the stove right now.
I think he'll be okay. It's just if he didn't say those vanilla comments, I guess. And I think
I think he's out of every coach in the league though. He's under more pump than anyone. I think
Michael Voss. Nah, no way. He's under the biggest pump at the moment.
I think Voss is one of. I think Voss has got till mid-year. I think Longmuir is under.
Ken Hinkley was going to get sacked last. Like, I reckon.
No, Ken Hinkley's sacked. He's sacked. He's gone.
Yeah, he is, but he was going to get sacked like last week.
Ken Hinkley doesn't give a shit. He's been paid.
Yeah.
The big thing for me, like I always worry with like coaches under the pump. They love to they panic and they make big. And that Voss is in this bracket too. They make big calls and they throw out like what is normal to you week to week, and they just like. Fuck it, let's throw this out the window. You can start to see it on the weekend with Longmuir. Shy Bolton started to get... So Brayshaw had his lowest CBAs, I think, in a long time.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't get that much last year, surprisingly. What do you know what he got on the weekend?
59.
Yeah, that is pretty low.
And then last year he ravaged 70%.
Yeah, so like again, just from Supercoach point of view, I had my eye on him a lot, and yeah, he usually gets a lot of CBAs, but I didn't really care if he was starting high half forward or whatever, because for the rest of the game, he's playing at stoppages.
Well, it just sounded interesting. So they preferred Shy in there for the CBA, and then they would immediately switch, and Shy would go forward, and Brayshaw would then go in. Yeah. But it was just, I found that I would have thought Brayshaw being like a bit tougher, get him in there.
I'm pretty sure Bolton, he got 15 posies, right? He was, just speaking of Bolton while we bring him up, someone who had a great 3 quarters last year at Richmond, and then his last quarter of the year, he played like he didn't give a shit. I don't think he hit in his last month of footy.
And now he's interested.
Now he's interested, and Freo might not be hitting their stride just yet, but they're expected to be like a top 8 team this year. I know it's just 2 games rough. They gave up the lead to Sydney, but Bolton is interested. He wants to kick goals, wants to play well back home. So I like Bolton for 15.
Yeah, I agree. And Bolton's first game back, he looked a bit rusty. He fumbled actually a fair bit during the game. What the bits I saw, linked up a lot with Jackson. Actually, a lot of handballs with Jackson in that midfield. I think he's going to be fine. I think he looks really good.
Yeah, so. There was one where he got tackled. Like Bolton just has eyes in the back of his head, and he shrugged off. He faked one hand pass and he got tackled from behind. I'm like, the old Bolton just knows where everyone is.
And I think this week against that West Coast, it's staring down a 3-goal, 15-touch game, I think, sort of thing. So big feast.
You so you mentioned Bolton was giving it to Jackson. I'm pretty sure Darcy is still not back. He could be, but Luke Jackson got 16 posies in the first week, and then he got 20 this week. So again, he was $1.30 going into this game. Pretty good odds. If he's playing sole ruck, he thrives.
Being at that Geelong game, Reedy rucked for about 20 minutes of that game in the first quarter, and he's a bit bigger boy, and he got absolutely destroyed by De Koning, and immediately you could see that they just threw that he was gone. He was no longer in their considerations as a ruckman.
And when you're at that game, Luke Jackson just stands out when he's like jumping over you, getting the footy, running, the mullets going, like he is a presence.
I think out of all the ruckmen in the league, he has the best hands. Like gather the ball and flick it out to a running receiver. He's got eyes, and he's got eyes in the back of his head. Some of the handballs he does.
Yeah. But we have to remember if he is the sole ruck, 15 is great. We just have to monitor when Sean Darcy's back, because he had a big, not a overall game slump, but he had a big posse slump. He doesn't get much of the footy.
Yeah, I think obviously stay away there. But what's his name? Darcy's 2 to 3, probably every bit of a 3, just judging by his injury history. But then again, with the losses, they might go early on it. Who knows? That's why I think there's a chance Hayden Young, they go early on him this week. He's supposed to be 2 weeks away. I reckon they go early purely because they're going to be hitting the panic button.
I don't know. So, I don't think they're hitting the panic button that early. Like they're versing West Coast at the Derby. They're pretty.
They lost that last year though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Freo should still be okay for another couple of weeks. I just think
I don't know.
they versed Geelong at Geelong. I just don't think they were prepared for that game, but they were definitely prepared for Sydney. They just have to learn how to hold out games.
One I've got on, big one I got for Sydney actually. So let me just pull it. Sorry, I should have had this.
No, that's right. Well, you're looking for that. I was just going to quickly note as well. Matt Roberts in the back line for Sydney again looked great. He got 25. Someone who I was cautious on, but he's hit 26 and then he hit 19. He just missed by 1 and then 25. So if he was $1.22 going into that game, another player I really like for the 20 posi bracket.
Okay, so where is he? So Nick Blakey, right? Round one. Yes, Nick Blakey round one. Nick Blakey round one, when they played Tom McCartan as a forward, they didn't have a recognised defender really next to him, and they told him to defend. Comes out bonkers, gets his 26 touches, looks great. They bring in Joel Hamling, and the whole idea of that obviously is to free Nick Blakey up to go back to being Nick Blakey.
Yeah, Joel Hamling, you just fucking manhandle, you do the body work, yeah.
And I'll come in and do my thing. Drops to 24 touches. Okay, could have just been a bad week. They're playing Brisbane, right?
24 is still good, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Then they bring in Tommy McCartan now. Okay, so Blakey's not even defending anymore. Only 20 touches. And now Matt Roberts is taking how many kick-ins that concerns me? Like, if I don't know, like Nick Blakey, but like Matt Roberts is overtaking. So round one, when Blakey's supposedly playing as a fullback, he's taken 10 of the 12 kick-ins.
Yeah.
And then he's dropped to 7. Now he's dropped to 3.
The only reason, so I do like Blakey, but he's just hasn't been consistent. Like last year, he's constantly teetering on like the 6 or 7 out of 10. Sorry, we're speaking Nick Blakey in the 20 posi bracket, mind you. Nick Blakey has, in my opinion, I feel like he's left the 15 posi bracket.
Oh yeah. So you're going for the plus 20. He's hit, but on fairness, he's hit every game this year. I just would have thought
more kick-outs.
With not even the kick-outs per se, but having the 2 big boys back there with him, surely you should have been freed up a bit more. Why are you getting less? You're right though. He's too inconsistent. You're right.
No. But these are the things we've got to look for this year, and so that's a great pickup. How Tom McCartan has gone back, and Nick Blakey has hit every game this year. He was $1.55 going into this game, so he was averaging 22 posies in his last 10. If the whole problem with Nick Blakey for me is his consistency. So if he goes a month in a row of hitting 20s, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And if he's freed up, like you said, I don't see any reason for him not to hit. 20 could have been a bad game for him.
Yeah, exactly. I think he just had a bad game.
Yeah.
I do Sydney's a tough one because there's so many mouths to feed, I think. So
well, I feel like it's only kind of their mid, and Nick Blakey is not he's a great kick sometimes, but he's kind of, the chaos, just run in, and he's a great kick, but he's not necessarily like the Caleb Daniel esque where But he's still a great kick. Was there anyone else you wanted to mention for the Freo or Sydney game? I know Sydney have the week off next week, but anyone from Freo you wanted to touch on?
No, I think Freo, they're going to feast in that midfield this weekend.
I actually do. I have one. I just remembered. Tom Papley, who was 9 out of 10 for goals. Again, I love him for a goal scorer. He had 2 scoring shots and both points. So someone to note for when he comes back against North. He probably won't be paying that great. But Tom Papley is usually over $1.20. So he averages almost 2 goals a game. 9 out of 10. He'll be 8 out of 10 now because he just missed. I like him bouncing back.
He's still their best forward, isn't he? So
yeah. Did Shai Bolton actually, just last thing, touching on goal scorers, did he kick one in the end? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. He had a shot, and I think he had he got cleaned up in the goal square, didn't he? He got his head ripped off, and they paid holding the ball against him.
Yeah. No, actually, so we got 15 posies and no goal. Yeah, you're right. So,
yeah, but I think they robbed him of a goal. I think he should have had it, and then he got his head ripped off.
Oh.
And they paid on the ball.
Well, he's someone who is 8 out of 10 now going into 7, and he's the similar price as Papley. And I feel like those type of players are just great to bounce back on. So people to note for next week. Just another good timestamp reminder. This is my bet for the Thursday night game, and I can't do Thursday night videos, and I can only do every second Friday. So just another great time to remind you guys, if I don't have the video up in time for the game you want to see, 99% of the time I'm going to have it here on my YouTube channel. You click on the post section. And then scroll down, and well, this is the Friday night. I'm recording this after the Doggies game. And then if you scroll down even further, then you will see the Thursday night game. So I include all the players, that I have an interest in, what I don't like, who I see potential, who missed last week. And then I include my bet and the odds at the time. I also include the form guide. I include my bet, and I've been pasting in their form under their odds, just so you can kind of see it all in one spot. So yeah, huge reminder that it's all here. That was my bet for the Thursday night game, based off the exact form guide I do. So if we go through that, and then we go to the Carlton Bulldogs game, which was on tonight. Again, you can just scroll up to the latest post, scroll up, you can see the notes. I said Sanders, Williams, I can't remember if English hit, but dude, Kennedy had such a crazy last quarter. Dale actually missed. Bramble bounced back. There's no way Lockie Bramble gets 2 sub-10 scores in a row. So anyway, that was the form guide I posted. That was my bet, which was actually this one. So again, just big reminder, shout out. If you don't see the video in time for the game, click the YouTube post section, which is up here. Click this bad boy and you'll see them. All right, we'll go on to the next bets for the round. Just another good timestamp reminder. This is my bet for the Thursday night game, and I can't do Thursday night videos, and I can only do every second Friday. So just another great time to remind you guys, if I don't have the video up in time for the game you want to see, 99% of the time I'm going to have it here on my YouTube channel. You click on the post section. And then scroll down, and well, this is the Friday night. I'm recording this after the Doggies game. And then if you scroll down even further, then you will see the Thursday night game. So I include all the players, that I have an interest in, what I don't like, who I see potential, who missed last week. And then I include my bet and the odds at the time. I also include the form guide. I include my bet, and I've been pasting in their form under their odds, just so you can kind of see it all in one spot. So yeah, huge reminder that it's all here. That was my bet for the Thursday night game, based off the exact form guide I do. So if we go through that, and then we go to the Carlton Bulldogs game, which was on tonight. Again, you can just scroll up to the latest post, scroll up, you can see the notes. I said Sanders, Williams, I can't remember if English hit, but dude, Kennedy had such a crazy last quarter. Dale actually missed. Bramble bounced back. There's no way Lockie Bramble gets 2 sub-10 scores in a row. So anyway, that was the form guide I posted. That was my bet, which was actually this one. So again, just big reminder, shout out. If you don't see the video in time for the game, click the YouTube post section, which is up here. Click this bad boy and you'll see them. All right, we'll go on to the next bets for the round. All right, guys, we're back here with Jono. We're going to go through our bets. We're going to be nice and quick. We got our timer so we don't talk for 2 hours. But yeah, Jono has graciously blessed himself, or given his time to help me go through my bets today. And first up, we'll go through the Melbourne Suns game. Jono, you've just literally had a look at my bet. Is there anyone that you like, don't like, or?
Yeah, you want me to give you a little props? Yeah, Max scored 15 today. That's fucking banger. He's the king. He's going to show everyone that he's still the man today,
Yeah,
for sure.
no,
100%.
Yeah, I agree. I really think Max Gawn very rarely has a bad game, and he was versing the top ruckman arguably at the moment. So for him to come back and get 15, I think is great. He is 7 out of 10, averaging 17 posies, just missed. Really think it's great. Now, I reckon the bets that I've included, Bodie Hewland and Will Powell, I know you're going to be wary about those because of John Noble and Dan Rioli.
Yeah, the Will Powell one's an interesting one.
He missed last week against West Coast and the ball barely went in the back line. But I really think against Melbourne, maybe it's going to come down a bit more. I'm going to give him a second chance because he's 9 out of 10. That was his first miss in ages. So,
yeah, okay. Johnny Noble, 15.
Yeah, Johnny Noble though, $1.22, 6 out of 10. He did have a great game. So maybe the other 4 out of 10 are kind of in that shit spot when he was at Collingwood. So could be, yeah, you know what? I got to not be distracted by the 6 out of 10. Otherwise, We have, Ed Langdon playing on the wing there. Jake Bowie will get a bunch of kickouts, but be careful because Stephen May's back. He's 8 out of 10. And I don't know how much of a lockdown role Stephen May's going to play on Ben King.
And they're also playing Jed today as well, and Mac is back as well. So we don't know which end of the ground Mac. So they're going big.
Okay, so yeah,
they're gonna want to stretch this Melbourne defense. Well, this is me assuming that they're gonna play Mac as a forward.
No, I think so too. So I don't have Mac for any disposals, but yeah, just Stephen May. He still usually hits, but just careful of the lockdown roll.
I think sorry, I'm cutting you off, but also we're gonna get through these quick. Kick-ins. Yeah, I like him for kick-ins. Kick on, sorry.
Yeah, I reckon I might extend these to 4 minutes. 3 minutes is so fucking quick. There's no one in the 20 posi brackets that I like. I mean, Christian Salem, and he's had a great start to the year, but I don't know. Something just doesn't quite get me across the line.
Not with Stephen May there, because his 4 kick-ins are already gone. Yeah. He's not going to get them.
Yeah, true. Jack Viney, old boy, he sort of... Yeah, could bounce back. Same with Rivers. I just feel like I need to see a bit more for these players to actually get me across the line. Dan Rioli's too short. But if we go to the 25 posi bracket, Noah Anderson is just been disgusting so far, and he's had one amazing game for the year. Could be top 5 Brownlow this year. 9 out of 10, 30 plus posies. Sam Flanders, I'm going to wait. Took Miller, I think, is going to probably get sort of phased out to the forward line. I don't think he can average 25. Anyone else that you sort of... Oh, actually, sorry, the last one that I do like, Matty Rao. Matty Rao is averaging like 30 posies to start the year. He looks awesome. He looks great.
I'm just trying to think if Melbourne would try and tag today. I don't think they will. They've got a big... Clayton Oliver in there. Big boys can match it with him. Yeah.
And Clayton Oliver seems to be like, the 2023 version. I think
as well, sorry, I know we ran out of time.
No, you're right.
I think as well... he'll play. I think there's a big chance Petrarca's used as a forward today.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just changing the timer to 4 minutes. I reckon that'll be a bit. This is for the next one.
We're already breaking the rules.
Yeah, I know. We're learning on the fly. And I've got Ben Long, for a goal because I think Ben King will take a lot of the attention. So he's 8 out of 10. Kicked 4 against West Coast.
The Jed, the Mac worry you?
Not really, because he's averaging almost 2 a game, and I feel like when he has played with Mac, it's fine. This is Jed Walter, right? He'll be playing backup ruck, because I feel like they're going to give Witts less time. I think Ben Long is still a great option there for goal scorers, like the second in line for Gold Coast. Yeah.
Yep, that's fair. I don't think there's any value in any of the other Melbourne. Melbourne, you're really just risking it.
I think so too. Look at Jake Melsham. He might kick one, but I haven't even bothered to track his stats to
The only one there that I actually kind of would be Petrarca, but is it worth it for that price? Probably not.
Where's he? Oh yeah, for $1.28. Yeah. No. Anyway, no. So that's the game. Melbourne Gold Coast. Max, Bodie Yule, and Will Powell. Let's scroll down to St Kilda Richmond game next on Saturday, and I've done 5 legs. Usually I never do 5 legs, but there was no one really I wanted to just reach out for in a high odds field, so I've kept everyone under $1.30. We have Jacob Hopper, Jaden Short for 20, Tim Taranto for 20. He was an absolute just get me over the $3 line. Then we have Ryan Burns, who I noticed last week, and Thompson Dow, who has fucking been 10 out of 10 amazing. He has been hitting even in the wallopings. So anyone you like from that bracket at 15, Jono?
I love Ben Miller.
Ben Miller. Oh, I said what? No, I've never seen Ben Miller $1.22 in my life. He had 8 kick-ins last week.
I think, it's a risk. Do you think he'll keep the kick-in bracket? Because I'm scared of the Jaden Short for 20.
I prefer Jane Short for 20 because he sort of showed even if he wasn't getting kickouts, he can still hit it. Whereas
what did he hit last week
without the kickouts? He got 21 and he got 19 in the Carlton game in round 1, and the ball did not go in Richmond's backline.
I think that's a safety too. I do love Ben Miller though. Maybe just a watch for next week.
I loved him too, but for $1.22 when you're averaging 13 posies, I did want to flag him, but anyway, Thompson Dow has been amazing, super under the radar.
In that mid, getting lots of time that. Taranto response game, I think is a good bet.
Well, I wanted a 25, but I'm just going to hold fire and go 20. But Tim Taranto, if he gets under 20 posies, he will usually hit the week after.
Yeah, and also don't forget that I said he'll get traded at the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll keep tabs on that. Toby Dankervis, 8 out of 10. He just missed. Like, he, again, against Port in Adelaide, I really feel like he can bounce back. He is going up against Marshall, but don't worry, last time they played St Kilda in round 22 last year, he got 18. So I think Nate can still get it despite going up against Marshall. Jacob Hopper has been super consistent, like, can get, around 18 posies to 28, 9 out of 10. Yeah, so far he's not showing any signs of slowing down this year. Short, as we just touched on, it doesn't really matter if he's not taking as many kickouts. He's still getting around the 20 posie mark. And Jono's boy, Tim Taranto, $1.70 for 25. I do like that. Last thing, Jono, before I hand to you, I've actually highlighted Jack McRae for 30 posies, $1.40. I know he's 2 out of 10, but those 2 games have been at Saints, and he is looking like big.
I like it. I like it. I don't know. It's a risky one, but it's like, I don't know who else is. Like, Richmond aren't going to tag. Hunter Clark is out, who has been a 30% midfielder for them as well. Someone has to take those midfield minutes. Now, McRae can't get any more minutes in there, but, like, yeah. Yeah,
no, but he's just looking disgusting. He's getting it, like, in a good way. Like, he's just getting so much of the footy, so many quick handballs. Like, he's looking like the McRae from, 2-3 years ago at the Doggies, which is great to see.
Yeah. Potential, like, if a flyer, I wouldn't put him in, but Zach Jones for 20 today with that extra minutes in the midfield, potentially, I don't think is horrible.
Yeah, someone again who hasn't been consistent, but he did fucking pop off last week. And I'm like, my personal thing is I hate sort of kind of like Supercoach chasing last week's points. I want to see a bit more consistency first, instead of sort of going that punt.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Luke, the number 1 pick, with the name Laylor, we just need to see a bit more, couple more weeks. I think he's going to be a low possession. He's going to be like a Harley Reid, big goalie type, low possession, more goals than touches kind of guy, I think.
I think so too. And actually, as you're speaking of him, I did look at him for a goal. He was, he's kicked he's kicked 1, in each game. Where is he? Laylor, $1.40. And so someone to consider, but I didn't highlight. He's gone up against Saints. Richmond could be, a sneaky chance here. We'll see if it's the real Saints or if it's the round 1 Saints.
You don't have Cooper. You do have Cooper there. $1.33. First game back. I do like Cooper, but yeah.
Yeah. Man, all right, we'll fly through. We'll set up for the next game, which is Hawthorn Giants. All right, next one is Hawthorn versus Giants, and I'll go through my bet. I've included Connor Iden. Connor Iden, this is his first miss in 20 games. He hardly misses now. He's looked great. I really like him for a bounce back. Carl Amon, who is starting the year on fire, averaging like 25. I like him for 20. Distributor of halfback. Harry Himmelberg, super consistent. He's only missed once in his last 10 games, and that was for 15 posies. And Tom Green, what more can I say? Ball magnet, I think he'll do great. So yeah, anyone else in the 15 posi bracket?
I do, like you have highlighted him here, I do like Josh Battle, just barely because of the matchup as well. He's not playing shutdown today. He's playing, like, he'll be intercept mark. He's not going to respect Cadman that greatly, I don't think. He'll be chopping out Barras, taking kick in, and especially if Sicily starts forward, which I think he might. I think it's just more chance for Battle.
I feel like even if he does, like, wherever he starts, like, Josh Battle can have a bit more free reign when there's Barras or Sicily, or, like, I know Frost isn't playing today. I don't think he is, but, like, the point is, like, he has a bit more freedom to do what he wants.
Frost is, where is Frosty boy? Did he get dropped, or is he?
He was sub, I think, last week, but I still think Josh Battle, like, just can play sort of a bit of intercept, little run up the ground. I've also, is he playing?
Sorry, I can't see, but you keep going, sorry. I'll have a look.
No worries. Next player I've highlighted for the 15 posi is Jack Ginnivan. So Jack Ginnivan, you probably don't like a small forward to get posies. He was 7 out of 10 before this, so now he's 6 out of 10. He had a stinker last week, but it was essentially his first half where he got like 2 posies, and then he bounced back, and I think he had maybe like... but yeah, so Jack Ginnivan might not be like super reliable, but there's other options here, as you can see, that I've gone, but someone I kind of like. I just want to see a bit more of him. Jono was saying it might be a bit wet down in Tassie.
Windy,
yeah,
shit, Dave. It'll be the big boys and the strong boys in there. That's why I know we haven't got there. Tom Green.
Oh yeah, we'll get to him. And when you think of like Cam McKenzie, Dylan Moore, there's already a couple of good small forwards. The Wizard as well. It's hard to distribute all that footy, but someone to watch. Josh Kelly, who I've highlighted for 20, who I haven't gone though. Just he's still hitting 20, even with Finn Callahan absolutely popping off. So for a 9 out of 10, $1.24, I like. Carl Amon, I bet on. Lockie Ash and Harry Himmelberg, I kind of either or at the moment, but Harry Himmelberg's form has been slightly better of late, Mr. Consistent. So anyone else there in 20 you like?
Cam McKenzie, just as a little one, he is inconsistent.
21 and 19. Yeah.
He's very inconsistent, but just with no Connor McDonald now, they're still missing Warple. It's probably only good for one more week. He is a risky pick, though.
Yeah, and I've just noted that as a good pickup. Averaging 20 in his first 2 games, $1.80.
Yeah, and I think with the Connor McDonald injury, it's just going to add to it. I don't think they brought anyone in to beef up that midfield at all, did they? They brought in Luke Bruce. He's not seeing any of that CBA time.
No. And Jono and I just spoke off air real quick, but James Sicily, I haven't highlighted. Any other day, I like James Sicily for 20, but I want to see just what he's doing. If he plays half forward, a quarter forward, he's going to be losing posies. So just to wait and see on Sicily.
I think there's a guarantee he switches at some point in this game.
Yeah,
there's a guarantee at some point.
When that is. Yeah.
If they're losing or the game's locked and they need a goal, if they're getting pumped, he might even spend the whole game forward. But at some point, they're going to switch in.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Tom Green, 10 out of 10, averaging 33 posies, absolute ball magnet. He is just so good inside of the hard ball. Jai Newcomb, who did bounce back after his first crappy game, I think it was against Sydney, round 0. But yeah, I just can't go past Tom Green. He just gets so much of the footy without trying.
So it's in the wet.
Well, in the wet's good. A lot of stoppages, ball ups. He just needs those shitty little handballs. So.
Yeah, the other one then I do like in the wet. He's only played 2 games. We've seen him in that midfield twice. 30 and 30. Backing it up, Finn.
Yeah. This will be actually a good test to see how he goes, in the wet and everything. $1.18 still for 20. If he gets over $1.20 for 20 posies, I would just jump on him. He was just a little too short at time of recording, but I think he can bloat out. For goal kicker, look, I've only highlighted the package. I don't know if you guys look at GWS social media. They are frothing the package. He is kicking one. He is kicking one surely in his debut game. And now I'm like, fuck, I don't have him included, but I like the package. 9 out of 10, debut game for GWS. They're going to give him one. They're going to look for him.
They're going to. I think. Don't mean to quote the hardball gets, but I think they were very big on him too. They're going to find him. He's going to pop up. He probably classic Jake Stringer, 8 touches, 1 goal game.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I definitely like it. And don't get me wrong, I do like Ginnivan, Guns. For goals, Toby Green too short. He's just a standout sort of amongst this, and I don't think you'll get Jake Stringer for $1.28 maybe after this game. I reckon it'll drop in price. This is just a.
Nah, I think. I don't know if it's my lock of the week, but it's fucking up there. Also, I reckon he gets it done in the first quarter.
Oh, geez, you're really tempting me. I'm thinking I might have to just shuffle things around and throw in Jake Stringer, the package.
Just on that though, only played 15 minutes of Max Sim, so. Underdone. Very underdone, which in the past has never worried Jake Stringer.
Yeah.
But he's there to prove a point.
No, nice. So, any other touches or whatever before we move on to the next game? Anyone I've missed from the positive bracket?
Darcy Jones for a goal is risky. He hits, he misses, he hits, he misses. He missed last week. So,
yeah, the kid with the lid. I do like someone who bounced back. You're right.
Wet game, though. I'm scared of all these forward pockets in a wet game.
Yeah, true.
So.
All right, next game. All right, for the last game of Saturday, the Brisbane Cats game. So I've done 4 legs here. This is the first time ever I've done 2 goal scorers in the same bet. So I have Calamar Chi because I think at some point in the game his goals come from when Brisbane turn it over. He's stream into the goal square, they kick it, lob it over, and he runs on and kicks it. I really think that'll happen, especially in kind of a humid, wet game. And Ollie Henry missed last week, and he's usually 10 out of 10. For the 20 posies, I have Max Holmes, who's going to bounce back after getting tagged by Windhager last week, and Tom Stewart. The only concern for him is injury risk. So, anyone else that you like from this game?
Tom Stewart, I'd say... If you've got the time, wait till last second on that. I think there's a big chance if he starts and plays, I definitely like him for the 20. I think there's a big chance he's a laid out. Just keep that one in mind. You never can trust Chris Scott with these kind of things.
That's a good point.
So even Bailey Smith on that one, just a touch and go. And then I actually like watch your weather radar. So at this day, James, because I reckon Jez for 15.
For 15 touches, yeah, true, because I like Jeremy Cameron playing up and around the ground, so I just checked the weather. It was going to be 50% chance and rain, but now it's 15, and it's going to be humid, so it might not rain, but it's going to be a bit sloppy, so I still like him for 15. Yeah,
if there's too much moisture, because he needs to be up the ground, taking his marks, running around, I definitely I think that's a good one, but it's very weather dependent. There's no value in Zorko whatsoever because he's just fucking jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the 15, so someone who I noted last week, Zach Guthrie, I think we say almost, I like him, but his odds are just way too short. If he does get over like $1.20, probably not. I do like him. He takes the majority of the kickouts. Jasper Fletcher, who is now playing half back. So I love Jasper Fletcher on the wing, but when you have Jared Berry, Bruce Reville, and now Levi Ashcroft, they're taking up all the wing spot. Jasper Fletcher is now half back, and he has gone from $1.70 to $1.25. The bookies.
Is he getting half-back minutes now?
Yeah, he played all half back against West Coast, and he kicked a goal. So he's a good runner.
Okay, that's good to know. I hate wingmen in the wet.
Yeah.
Just so you know, as a wing, when it pisses down rain and you're out on those wings, the ball doesn't come out there. It's going center clearance forward.
And you're running up in the slog. And literally, that is a great point because Ollie Dempsey, who I've highlighted, usually any other time I would jump back on someone who missed. 8 out of 10. I really like Ollie Dempsey, but him playing on the wing, I don't know. There's just something where I just might give him one more week. And he did rest half in the forward line against St Kilda where he kicked those 2 goals.
I think it potentially could be more value next week. But in the way, as a guy played a lot of wing in his career, it's the worst thing ever when it's a fucking wet day. Your job in the wet is protect the backs, and your job is to flood back at all costs, and you just don't see the ball.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think a wet, humid game is just really good for, contested or, just normal, high-performing disposal ball getters, which is why, I've gone Holmes and Stewart. And moving on to that bracket, the 20+, we have Will Ashcroft. I've got him for $1.18. If he was over $1.20, bang, lock him in. Holmes, Stewart, I've talked about. Darcy Wilmot, I've highlighted. I think this could be the transition year where he goes from the 15 posi bracket to the 20. First 2 games looking great. Zorko can't do this forever. Wilmot wants the footy. I really like him.
Yeah, I love Darcy Wilmot. I was shitty. I couldn't get him in my super coach. Zach Guthrie probably needs. He's only gone 21, and I feel like he had great games. So if he has a bad 21 in a great game, so does that mean that's more a ceiling than a consistency? I guess
that's the question. Yeah, whether that becomes then his norm. He is taking a lot more kickouts, or if that's just a couple of good games.
He's not going to get those cheap intercept marks with the wet.
Nah.
But
he got 21 against Freo when they pumped Freo. So I think he's still pretty good for 20. I like that. Speaking of that wingman role, I've just maybe backtracking on the Jared Berry discussion because I know he plays a lot of wing, 26 posies, but he still plays really well in the stoppages.
The one thing I know he hasn't tagged since that great, and he should be tagging because he's an incredible tagger against that Clayton Ola game is one of the best tag games of all time.
Yeah.
If anything, did we see a blueprint how to beat Geelong last week with Max Holmes? Are they going to? If anyone is going to tag today, is there any Brisbane tagger? Is it Jared Berry?
I just literally going to every Lions game. Berry isn't not used as the tag anymore. It'll mostly be Dunkley just doing a defensive role at stoppages. Yeah.
What about Bruce?
Nah, Bruce is just wingman. I don't think... this will be interesting. Now I'm going to see if... I'm going to watch this game closely. I'm going to the game tonight, by the way, so I'll have my eyes on them.
I'm interested in if they're going to... If they go without the tag, I'd be very... can Max Holmes break a tag? Because he might be a guy... All of a sudden, he's becoming the next Will Gay. Just stay away.
Yeah, no, that's true. I know we've just gone slightly over time, but the 25 posi bracket, Jono just touched on. Zorko, absolute jet. I still think he can get it in the wet. Doesn't really matter. He always wants the footy. The 25 was kind of a little blip where he played a bit forward. Was that the Sydney game? I think it was. Goal kickers, there is a lot. This is the best game I've ever seen for goal kickers, right? So yes, it's going to be rainy. It might be low scoring, but that gives you an opportunity to pick one. I've gone 2. I've gone 1 from each team. There's a lot to pick from. Charlie's first game back, 10 out of 10. Logan Morris, I've avoided the marking forwards, as you've said, Jono. If it is wet, they might be dropping it.
Ollie Henry is, except watching him as a Pies fan and seeing him kill us at Geelong, wet doesn't bother him. So.
Yeah, again, he was 10 out of 10 before this game, so he's missed. I really like him for bouncing back. And Callum Archie, I think his price has gone up a little bit because Charlie Cameron and Kai Lohmann are back, but I still think Callum Archie will have, definitely a scoring shot at least.
One, sorry, that I forgot about just on the, jacking back, 20 plus, one to watch, Humphreys.
Oh, yeah, another good pickup. Lawson Humphreys, 23, 22.
New role. If Tom Stewart's not playing, I actually like that a lot.
Oh, yeah, actually, I might highlight him orange as well, or, yellow, because either of these two, Humphreys and Guthrie, I would go for 20 if Stewart is out. I'm this close to going them right now, but if Stewart's out, I think that's almost the selling point.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone else for a goal before next game, or?
I don't. I like Dangerfield.
Dangerfield. Yeah, okay.
Back to back, 2 goals, resting forward. Bailey Smith's back. They're not going to need him in the midfield.
Yeah, true. He had to go in the midfield for a lot against St Kilda last week.
This would be you with your betting expertise. Like, is $1.36 value enough for a goal?
Yes. So I like usually anything over like $1.20, $1.30, $1.40. Yeah, it's great. So I think that is good value.
I like him more than.
What about the wet?
Ollie Henry. I would have Ollie Henry top of Geelong. I like him second most just because of the wet. I love him in the wet.
I was the same. I was like, if I had to pick one Geelong goal scorer, I think it's Ollie Henry, especially after missing the week before.
You already can picture the goal it's going to be. It's going to be that snap across the body in the wet, like almost falling over. You're going to see it fucking happen.
Yeah, or Brian Mize is going to soccer it from the boundary, and he's going to run in soccer it like the prelim final.
Yeah, Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Mate, already haunting me that we fucking lost him.
All right, moving on to the next game. And for our Sunday game, the first Sunday game, it's going to be a perler on Sunday in Adelaide, 21 degrees or 24 degrees, no rain. So I'm keen to get into this one. My bets, I'm going to quickly go through in the 15 posi bracket. Cherry, which is probably the best ruckman in the comp right now. Peatling, I need him to bounce back. I'm giving him another chance. Jai Simpkin for 20 and Rankin for 20. Rankin would have easily hit last week if he wasn't subbed in the third quarter. So I really, really like him for $1.53.
Yeah, Peatling, if you don't fucking hit this week, mate, you're getting the CBAs. If he gets 50% CBAs and it's for 15 touches, it has to be.
I think so. This is almost my last roll of the dice on Peatling because I was bullish on him for 20 and I'm like, I'm going to lower my expectations. We're going to go 15. And you're right, when he's getting 50% CBAs and he's not even getting 15 posies against Essendon last week, like, that's wild.
If he can't hit this week, then I don't know why the fuck they got him. What's his role? Is he there to be a pressure forward? Why did you bother?
Yeah.
It will happen eventually. I think it will click. Potential for a tag here, I think, from Will Phillips. Like, Will Phillips at North Melbourne has been a bit of a high draft pick, hasn't really fallen, but has shown that he can shut down taggers, or he can tag. I think the Rankin tag potential, but I still think Rankin's just too classy for it.
Yeah, I just think Rankin has just, elevated this year. And like I said, I think he is at great odds because he got a 15 posi last week, which could have easily been another 25 game, I reckon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is a good point to look out for Will Phillips. In the 15 posi bracket, as we were speaking of Peatling, there's also Ben Keys, Neil Bullen, kind of all play sort of similar roles, that high half forward. I've highlighted all of them, but out of the three, I would go Peatling, especially after missing. I feel like us as a community, we have to get Peatling at least once.
Yeah, mine would be Mark Keane.
So true. The only reason I didn't highlight him was just because he hit 10 last week and he gets the majority of the kickouts and he's versing North in Adelaide. How many kickouts is he going to get to help boost his score?
I don't like North for the win. I like North to win the midfield battle this week. So I think they're going to get enough inside 50. I don't think they're going to be good. I think Adelaide's just going to outscore everyone.
Even against Crouch, Dawson, Saligo.
I love the North Melbourne midfield. I think that, like Dawson, don't get me wrong, he's fucking something possessed right now, but I think Cherry's just going to dominate Riley O'Brien. Matt Crouch versus LD. Oh, Dawson and LDU going to go head-to-head. Saligo and Rankin probably go head-to-head here, and then Sheasel's going to be around racking his touches. So, yes. I don't know. It would be interesting to me to see. It's going to be a real test for the Adelaide midfield today.
So what you're saying is maybe, because I like Michael Aney, but I was kind of hesitant on him. So as a backman for Adelaide, I was just saying I was really bullish for Luke Nankervis, but realised he's not playing. He was listed as an in like the Thursday night, but he's not playing. But Michael Aney getting the ball in the back line there for Adelaide, I do like for 15, but I've just gone a couple of other options at the moment.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and for 20, we were just brushing on Isaac Rankin. Absolutely love him. Jai Simpkin, captain, 10 out of 10, $1.20. I just really think he's going to, excel. And you're bullish on North's midfield as a whole, so I think he fits in nicely.
Yeah, I like the North midfield. Saligo, obviously no value on that. He's just racking them up. Luke Parker, is this going to be consistent? Is this the new role? Probably need to see it. it's like see it another week.
That's another great pickup. Yeah, $1.67. He's 2 out of 10, and his 2 hits have been at North. So that is a great pickup.
I know he's 2 out of 10, yeah, but it's a small sample space, but for 20 though, it's 21 and 22. Like maybe we need to see a bit more.
No, I think that's a great thing. Yeah, maybe we just monitor for one more week. For the 25 posi bracket, or if there's anyone else in the 20, you just yell back out. But Rory Laird, I've noted it's his milestone game, 250, and he has shown he doesn't need kickouts, he doesn't need CBAs, and he can still rack it up. And he just missed the week before, so I really like Rory Laird for 25 there.
Steer clear, Caleb Daniel.
I have not I just can't do it. Like, how is he paying so short? Look, I know he can get a lot of the footy, but I just don't know.
Also, Adelaide have known to roll with the defensive tag. They've got Peatling, they've got Neil Bullen, they've got Ben Keith. All these guys have had in the past been able to do a shutdown roll on guys. If you shut down Caleb Daniel, that's going to stop their backline run. I think that Ben Keys to go to Caleb Daniel, I actually think could happen. That could easily happen.
Wow, that is great insight there. I do like that. Yeah, because Caleb Daniel, like even just without that maybe tag thing, I just can't justify.
I think it's if it's 30 every week, then fuck. Okay, it's going to be bonkers, and he's going to be an All-Australian. But we need to see more again. It's kind of like Luke Parker. We need to see it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And plus with that tag thing. So going onto the goal scorers, not much value because, the bookies have Adelaide winning by quite a lot.
Sorry, just one more. Sorry. I know we're running short of time.
That's fine.
Saligo, hit the last 3 big boy times.
Yes. 2 for the year.
Yeah, he's gone 2 for the year, and even in his last game last year, he hit it as well. He's the third mid in there. Now, his Rankin, the one thing I'd say about that, Rankin they might be trying to increase Rankin's minutes here to get him in there as well, so that might affect him. I see one of Saligo or Peatling is going to get affected by Rankin here. Now, if I had to guess, it's going to be fucking Peatling.
No, not this week. Well, give me 1 week.
No. I'm going to back Peatling to. You've got to do it while he's there. So
exactly. And look, if as soon as we hit Peatling, maybe we can suss somewhere else. But it's kind of like the thing, like if you miss. As soon as you jump off Peatling, he's going to hit. I need.
Yeah, and one other thing with that would be that it's 15 touches. When I say that he's going to affect his midfield minutes, he's going to drop to 30% CBA. 30% CBAs, you should still be getting your hits.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And it's not necessarily just the CBAs; it's where he's playing on the ground too. Like he's around the stoppages. He should be.
Yeah. He should be hitting that every time. And we're not talking 20 here. We're talking 15. Like, fuck.
I was bullish on him for 20 to start the year. And then I was like, let's just give you an easy 15. And then he got 13. I was like, are you far out? So
if he can't hit this and he's still getting 50% CBAs, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, it'd be almost tempting to keep going.
Yeah, I'm just going to double down, go with the shit. But anyway, So for our goal kickers, I've highlighted Rankin and Ben Keys, not with much confidence. Just they're 10 out of 10, averaging 2 a game. Like, yeah, I think they'll kick one, but I don't want to sort of throw them in the multi for that value. So no one else I really see. I mean, Jack Darling, Paul Curtis, it's kind of but I really wouldn't put them in my bet where I think these options down below are a bit more secure.
Yeah, honestly, Adelaide are going to kick that many fucking goals against. They're going to be the highest scoring team this year. It's going to be so hard to pick who's going to kick those goals.
Yeah, I think I would almost go the big thrill seeker or Fogarty for 2 instead of Rankin or Keys for 1. But again, I don't know if I'd actually do it. But
and then after that, you're really trying to pick like Dawson's obviously known to kick a goal and stuff like that, but you're really rolling the dice then.
Yeah, no, I think so too. All right, and for that West Coast Freo game, the Derby, I have got my bet here. I haven't placed it. I'm going to see what happens with the game before, or wait for another same game multi-token. But essentially, who I've gone so far, Ruben Jinby for 15, who I think he hit in his first week, which was fantastic. He didn't hit against the Lions. You know why? Because he got 0 posies in the last quarter where he had to play ruck. Otherwise, he would have been on target and hit 15, but he dropped off. Liam Baker, Jet for West Coast for 20 to start the year. He's hit 20 both times. And Jeremy McGovern, who I'm kind of, a little bit worried about. He's just teetering 19, 20. So I feel like he's the risky one, but he'll get some kickouts.
Yeah, Jeremy McGovern, I think he's a great, definitely a great show there. Not much value in the 15s. They're all kind of risky.
Yeah, they are. They're all so short. I was having that. I was like, do I go Harley Reid? But I'm like, I do like Jinby just because I know he didn't get a touch when Williams and the other kid went down with cramp. Jack
Graham, coming back, I like.
As in for 15 or 20? Because
he's not paying much for 15. Sorry,
but for 20, he's $1.70, which is great. He's
for
kind of
20,
like
yeah. The only thing will be first round, Baker got 0 CBAs and Jack Graham was there, and Jack Graham was the pig in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jack Graham missed last week with hip soreness. Baker went to 80% CBAs and looked like a midfielder. I don't know how that affects that.
Oh, so you're saying it might affect Graham more than it affects Baker?
Well, yeah. Are they going to roll? Well, it's going to. I feel like they're going to have to roll. If they come out this week and not play Baker in there again, I think they'd be. Now, Harley Reid, they love him too much. They're going to play him the CBAs. Kim Kelly is their fucking highest paid player. Are they going to fucking not put him there? I feel like it's going to affect. I feel like maybe Jack Graham and Baker start to share it, which is a bit worrisome. So,
yeah, well, if we're gonna pick one of the two, like I was at the,
I'm going Baker.
I'm going Baker too. I was at the Brisbane West Coast game last week, and Baker, oh man, he was just looking so good.
Baker's going to get the ball, so look at the first week when he had fucking barely any CBAs.
Still 21. Yeah, against Gold Coast, who fucking pumped them, pulled their pants down at Optus Stadium. So I do like him.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Just getting out of the 15 Plozzy. I've highlighted Jeremy McGovern, but I think he can get the 20. Corey Wagner looks great off halfback. Harley Reid, he's going to just go Bird City, for the
Have you heard about just quickly, I know we're going to go over on the last game, but you've heard about the West Coast fans' intention?
No.
Is to, at the 9-minute mark of the first quarter, they're all going to give up and give the bird.
Why? That's funny.
Really, I'm probably going to watch the game. In fairness, I'm going to watch the game just for that. So.
That's funny. I'm going to stand up in my living room and give the bird in the 9-minute mark.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
All right, the 20 Possie. I've got Jordan Clark. I would include him every day of the week, just if he's at 1 cent more in the $1.20. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold again. But I do like this bet. Look at the value this one gives: $4.63 for those 3 legs. So there's no need to include him at the moment. Tim Kelly, as Jono was saying, is going to play a majority of the mid, and we've touched on Baker, Graham, and McGovern. Anyone else from the 20 you like?
Yeah, the other one then for 20 is it's a risky pick this week. If you want to go bang for your buck, it's Ryan Marrick. I believe he was a mid-season draftee. He has played forward. I reckon he's the new whipping boy, kind of replacing Wizardin down there. So Gov obviously is the first choice, but now Ryan Marrick there, he's getting a lot of kick-ins, surprisingly, which Gov never really shared. He got 3 the first game, he got 5 last week. So
yeah, I was at the Gabba and I'm like, who is this guy taking all the kick-outs? So.
And especially if Baker is getting thrown in the mids now, which there was always talk Baker at half-back, Baker at a half-forward. If Baker's in the mids, then it's Ryan Marrick.
But we were just saying as well, whether we take that leap for Ryan Marrick for $1.77 now, probably not. But it's crazy to see $1.14 for 15. He's no value 15, too risky for 20.
I think at best case scenario, is he going to drop below fucking $1.50 or $1? He's not going to be $1.20 next week for 20. So we can take that risk next week if it comes to it. So
yeah, and plus we get another little sample size. In the 25 Possie bracket, Brayshaw, my boy, he's my favorite for 25. He missed last week, I forgot, in the Sydney game, but I really rate him to bounce back. 7 out of 10, averaging 30. I like him more than Sarong to get the footy at this point. So, yeah, that's the only one for 25, sorry.
Yeah, that's it. There's no other value there.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And then for goal scorer, look, Matt Owies kicked a goal in the Gold Coast game and he was cramping up. He came back on the field, kicked a goal, did us all a good service. And he didn't kick one against the Lions, even though West Coast played pretty well at the Gabba. I just think at the Derby, 9 out of 10, I like Matt Owies. Not quite enough to consider him when I've got other options, but he's probably the only goal scorer for mine.
Yeah, the only one I like, and he had a fucking stinker last week, Patrick Voss.
Oh, Voss, yeah. Where's he?
It goes 2 ways here. It's either he does get shots. He gets his shots up. He gets them up. So, but he just fucking had a stinker last week. It's $1.26, probably not worth it though, is all I'd say. Luke Jackson, stay away. He's going to be playing Sol Ruck. No Reedy there. I thought Reedy was playing. It's Luke Jackson Sol. He's not going to be down there.
Watch when Darcy comes back and Luke Jackson goes to $1.10 for goal scorer. It's Luke Jackson you can never bet on for 15 or goal scorers because the bookies always just short him as soon as something like Darcy comes in.
Yeah, exactly right. It's just it's too big of a swing, isn't it? I don't like anyone else of value there. It's too risky.
Yeah,
Isn't
no,
it?
I think so too. Plus, this game could just be better to enjoy. The Derby, sit back, 30-degree day in Perth, watch it, and watch all the boys cramp up at halftime.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, just on like West Coast, they have been known to fly the flag like they did last week. They went hard. They don't usually do it 2 weeks in a row.
I'm keen. I'm hoping to see something. I'm hoping to see that Harley Bird Reed thing. I'm hoping to see all the boys going to do it.
Oh, I would love to see it. And don't get me wrong, I feel like Harley, if West Coast are going to potentially, and they beat Freo in one of the derbies last week, they pumped them. Harley Reid's going to have to kick a goal. Elliot Yo not being there just makes me think they're not a threat, really.
Yeah, still a couple of weeks till he's back. But yeah, essentially that's all the bets from the week. Jono and I, next week, we'll do a little recap thing. But for the meantime, we're going to stop here and then we'll shorten our reviews for next week. But yeah, until then, we'll see you guys next week. All right.
See ya.